Atlanta. Let's see how this works, shall we? I noticed the other day I was watching. I said, "What is?" I forgot to fix the sun glare. Oh my Atlanta! Oh, I got just the thing to kind of fix that. Secrets of San Lazarus. I just stick that puppy like right up there. Do that, this, and the other. Right? Well, there goes. There goes. There goes the sun glare. There goes the sun glare. Sun glare gone. I solved it. Now there's a secret to it. How I solved that sun glare. People probably figure it out. Anyhow, welcome to Miners Madness. This is James on Kiwis Road. And I like to say hi. If I haven't said hi, hi again. If I forget to say hi, hi. And if I do say hi, hi again. And anyway, a lot of highs going around. I don't know what for. Titled Talking Tuesdays with Kiwis Road and Forrest Fenn. Ish. Hop on Zoom and let's talk it out. So I have Zoom up and running. Now, I do apologize to anybody who may or may not show up that the video and the connection may be choppy from time to time, maybe robot out, kind of looking like that like Pepsi commercial with that guy on the TV that does a type thing, you know what I mean? So I apologize for that. The next step or process to help reduce the lag and upload time is to actually not stream from my phone and Zoom from my phone, but rather use the computer that's inside the other room, which every time I mention to my wife that, hey, I'd like to spruce up this room, I get this weird facial expression like, and it's like, come on, why can I not have a room in the house? And she's like, well, that's what you got out here for, which is the shed, the brain cave. And that's why there's like a whole bunch of stuff hanging out here with me. So, I mean, along with all the stuff that's hanging out with me, there's a invite. Let me pin this message there. Zoom is pinned up right there. I'm thinking kind of like a first come, first serve type thing. First person on Zoom gets the yammering section of an earful from me, I guess. Though, I mean, they'd be like, well, why would I want to, hop on and listen to you yammer? It's like, well, I don't know. Who doesn't? I just go over the same stuff every time. Well, there's been some interesting stuff coming out. So, people, this is a train of an extended long track that I would think goes east to west is how I'm going to express it. And so Talking Tuesdays, there's a process in which this channel name, or the not the channel name, but the title of the Tuesdays is what it is. I had the pleasure of talking with a couple people on Sunday or Saturday. Oh, and I was going over my whiteboard, but as you can see, the animals are getting on it. Started smudging. But I had the pleasure of talking with a few people, and their life perspective and the things and what people may or may not consider struggles, other people may consider very strong struggles. And one of the things I noticed at the conversation, I'll kind of pick up later on it, is I'll pick up on it later when I reference the book. The book. What's the book? Oh, kids, check it out. So there's the menu, which got all erased. So I had to do something a little bit more permanent. And so with that, I might as well just do this. Da, 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 da. I'm just gonna start erasing it. What's he doing? Well, it's a good thing I took a picture of this menu. And then I went so far as to write this menu down in my composition book, or my compilation book of neural networking, I'm going to call it. Talking Tuesdays, for lack of a better word, for me is like a symbol or a significance. And why? Why? Not necessarily anything about Tuesday or anything like that, but I've been noticing patterns in life and other searchers, and one of them is everybody had a life. Just like this is kind of coming off of what my son, my friend, was talking about. Is uh, everybody has their highs and their lows, um, but everybody was on a journey in their life, whether they were at a high or a low. They're on their journey in life, and then all of a sudden they come up to this, um, you know, this thrill of the chase, and they're all looking at it and reading it, and they're like, oh, okay, we're all gonna get hope and finding something, getting close to it, all kinds of other different adventures, etc. And then all of a sudden that ended, almost like somebody passing away. Well, actually, somebody passed away along that journey, Forrest Fenn being so, um, which was, a trauma that happened and affected a lot of people. Uh, whether they admit it in one way or not, I mean, it affected a lot of people. I mean, chase is over. Nobody not going out and looking for the chest anymore. That hope and desire to have gone and done something no longer exists per se. Um, as far as like finding the chest, that's not to say that in life in general and stuff like that. But there's also what's happening beyond the thrill of the chase, and one of the things that I talk about on the train ride of this miner's madness, craziness that is this person that sits out here and thinks, has nature to listen to, birds and wind chimes and stuff, and yourself. Different thoughts come and go, and you learn things from watching other people through their life situations and stuff. Now, I have no idea what I'm talking about, where I'm going with this conversation at all. I'm just rambling right now because, like I said, I posted a link that somebody can come in here and yammer beside me. But if not, that's okay. I'll just keep yammering to myself, trying to make some kind of point that I have no idea what the point is. But it's just interesting how to learn from other people, I guess, and looking at yourself. And my wife tells me, why do I always internalize stuff? And I tell her I internalize stuff because I feel that if it can make me a better person, internalizing something that may be negative or positive, then I hope that it creates or changes an outcome of a positive outcome. And this goes back to uh, positive neurofeedback, retraining the brain, um, and try and how to do it quick. Oh, that's the point I was trying to make. See, that's what happens. So the point I was trying to make is there's the past in all of our lives, our life that we were living. There's the present, which go what with the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, the chest was found. People were waiting for what was going to happen. Then pieces of it were sold off, which part I'll mention later on, something about that too, because it's in the book. I made a better itinerary, an itinerary for this train ride. That's going to be the same train ride every Tuesday. But it's in a chance giving people an opportunity to come in here and share just a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to ask much, just, a state that you were looking in, what story that Forrest Fenn told within the Thrill of the Chase, or the three volumes thereof, or maybe even the revised versions, or how I see it, etc., or even about, I guess, new poems being out there. So interesting things, because it's tying Force into the present, along with uh, the future. Is now that the chest is gone and the stuff is out there, and then now people are suing people for this and that. And, people are just attacking other people. It's just kind of crazy stuff. Interesting. I mean, who doesn't like drama? That was something I totally was watching on TV. One of the biggest things that sells is unfortunately high positive and high negative. Um, and in the Chase marketplace, you kind of get a lot of both. So it's always interesting to see uh, all the different aisles that are in the Chase marketplace. I love going around and shopping, but especially shopping for uh, word on what might be a second poem. Now, apparently, if there is a second poem from the words as I would have heard it myself, from Forrest Fenn, from somebody else playing a clip, or Forrest Fenn telling Dale to be quiet abruptly after whatever happened, which I think context is very important in you, to have the full context to understand why Forrest would have reacted in such a way as to tell Dale to shut up, uh, is interesting, because it makes you wonder what was being asked, what statements was being made, where Forrest would say, "Well, just shut up," or just read me the poem, and we'll go from there. Which is kind of interesting, because now it's, well, what poem are we talking about? The poem that's in the book, or is there another poem somewhere else? Maybe a poem that's sealed up within an olive jar. Who knows? We'll find out at some point in time. But until then, there's all kinds of what ifs that we like to play. And I mean, what if somebody came on here and just started yammering? I mean, it, this, you got this guy right here who's awful silent. Kiwis inside, so you don't have to hear her yappering in the background. So that's okay. I mean, I'm not sure if you can even hear the birds or the wind chime outside. I mean, I got both earbuds in, so I can't tell. I mean, I can't even tell what I sound like on here. I mean, can't even listen to it. I mean, or maybe that Zoom link don't work. I don't know. Well, somebody test that Zoom link. Hop on here. Don't forget to read the disclaimer, though. I mean, this is being recorded. This is on YouTube. This is a digital diary of my life. And it kind of brings me to the point of Talking Tuesday. Is the future perspective beyond the thrill of the chase? So I can every day, every Tuesday, I can tie in Forrest Fenn very easily by just saying his name, Forrest Fenn. There you go. But the meaning behind it is Forrest Fenn taught me a lot about life, about death, and the different possibilities with imagination, to include learning about different things like space, time, energy, sound, frequencies, vibrations, uh, architectural stuff, archaeological, geographical, geology. I mean, so there's a lot in life that we can learn, that sometimes it takes something to trigger our ourself to want to explore. And in a sense, the thrill of the chase helped me do that. Which I think is important, because it helped a lot of people, I think, do that. It helped them um, get pulled away from reality into another reality, another realm of possibilities, that they could mix the two. And unfortunately, sometimes you mix the two, it don't work out. Sometimes you mix the two and it works out. It works out great. Um, well, I hope everybody's doing well and having fun. I'm just waiting for somebody to hit that Zoom link. But also attached to that pinned message is another YouTube link, which is a comment picker link where I'm giving away a Forrest Fenn coin, and I'll do a little update on that as I get later on into this whatever kind of show that I'm going to start doing on Tuesday nights at about 7 o'clock. So that way it's a good time, I think, for people who are getting off of work or who have been off of work and or maybe going into work or just been hanging out all day. Which, speaking about hanging out all day, I feel accomplished. Before I leave, I made sure that the sprinkler system was up and running and dialed in so that the potential of any dry grass would be next to nil. And I even got down some weed and feed and some fertilizer. So I kept the animals in, put down the weed and feed, fertilizer, grass seed, and then I put the sprinklers on to water it all down and let it saturate down into the ground. So hopefully I don't have to worry about the lawn and sprinkler system while I'm gone, which is a good thing. But talking Tuesdays, I see that the room is kind of filling up a little bit more. So this is like a first come first serve basis. First person to come in the Zoom that wants to sit there yammer yammer. Oh my! Here we go. This is it. First come first serve basis. There's a disclaimer that they're reading right now. So I'm gonna have to, and I'll kind of go over this when they hop on, if they hop on. All right, they even on? Oh, they're not making it. I thought I got them on. Are you there? Are you alive? Are you kicking? Nope, can't hear you. Your volume's down. You're muted. But I'm gonna you get second place in the book of composition. And well, see, now I can't hear you, which makes me wonder if anybody else can hear you. And if anybody else can hear you or not hear you, then I don't know. I have a guest. Can anybody hear anybody else besides myself talking?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Oh my God, I thought God was talking there for a minute. How you doing, Street?
Man, it took forever buffering in. What's happening, man?
Oh, well, that's because I'm trying to suck up all the bandwidth. That's how I roll.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Wow. Good job. Congratulations.
Well,
What's happening tonight?
When you get paid pretty good for the CAG, and the scab group, the good benefits and all. What can I say? No, what's happening is I've been following the chase community since like 2019, and I've been seeing the highs and the lows, and I've been watching the channels, and as you know, I call it the chase marketplace. But one of the most common basic things, keeping it simple, is there's always a theme of why people got into the chase. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, it's something bad versus something positive. Because if life's going positive, why would you try to get into something to make it that much more positive? I guess in a sense, unless it was, I don't know, a whole bunch of different reasons, I guess. But I noticed that in the thrill of the chase, Forrest Fenn was teaching about time, and I think how to marry the past, the present, and the future. And he kind of relays it in a few paragraphs in his books or sentences in his Thrill of the Chase book. And so it got me working on a project, and I've been working on and thinking about different things for like the past 2-3 years. And it's the past, present, and future, and how other searchers can still, in a sense, be accounted for in something that others may or may not think has ended, others who may or may not think and believe that there's more to than something else. And it's like, why not, give people, in a sense, a chance, an opportunity, in a sense, to kind of just give brief things and brief interactions, just something that creates and causes conversation. And it was something that I learned in parenting class as icebreakers. And I think Forrest Fenn is one of the best icebreakers there is. And so I decided that I'm going to start going live on Tuesday nights at 7, called obviously Talking Tuesdays, and with a little Forrest Fenn-ish in there. I mean, there there's a lot of value in name. You know what I mean? Now, say I'm playing off of Forrest Fenn's name. I mean, people will sit there and say yes, and that's quite okay. They have every right, because obviously it's in the title. Why? Because it's Forrest Fenn. It's something he inspired. Doesn't mean I have to talk about him. You know what I mean? Because I'm more interested about you here in a minute. Which in a minute is why I'll tell you I'm interested in you. So the future is every Tuesday. I'm going to try to go live and hopefully get somebody new every time, to kind of, it's like a social, for lack of a better word, a social experiment, but a social observation on people in life, using the Forrest Fenn throw the chase, how they used it positive, good in their life, but also how their life has changed, either positive and good, which is why I have the composition book, so I can comprise all these people. So I had already somebody on Sunday doing a test run, which part of the whole Talking Tuesdays is getting permission to metal detect on people's properties if possible. This is again another way of those neural networking or social networking, which kind of added more to the book itself. But it puts you at number 2, so you're number 2, but first on the Talking Tuesday. So you're number 1, but number 2. If that makes any sense. Yes, no.
Yes.
Okay.
I think void. That's why we're all here. It filled a void in our life. It did, and I don't want to ever let that void go empty again, man. No matter what the discoveries. That's why I hang out on places like this with all you guys. I mean, who knows where the
Yeah.
conversation's going to go? Who knows where we're going to end up?
And that's like part of the whole point of Talking Tuesdays is the icebreaker is Forrest Fenn. It'll be Forrest Fenn for as long as this channel goes on. That's just part of the design and direction in which I foresee the future. And if I can predict it my way, this is how I'm doing it. So that's what we're doing. We're creating history, because
Right.
it's not just about one thing or the other, but it's like a deep goal is a healing um, for myself, but others, and it comes in all different shapes and sizes. And sometimes people sharing, personal traumas is a way of healing, and it's a way of recognition and validation of who they are, their feelings, their thoughts, and their emotions. And it plays a very, very vital role into mental health and depression and suicide. And that's where the Forrest Fenn came in. And it's like, how do I continue that? Talking Tuesdays is how we're going to continue that, because everybody, I think, at one point in time, could just use a little shout out, I guess. What are your thoughts on that?
No matter how long you've been in the thrill of the chase, no matter how long or how deep you went, it was a roller coaster for all of us. It was a hard roller coaster, hard. And I get it. Everyone should get it. No one wants to give up that hope of that, the gold. And the gold represented changing your life, monetarily. Well, you can also change your life mentally too. I mean, it's not all monetary, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah, I mean that's there's there's the physical world and then there's the metaphysical world. And a lot of your thinking is metaphysical. A lot of your perception of what you're seeing outside your body, that's metaphysical. Our body interprets it, different ways. We see a log, we touch a log, it smells like a log. Okay, we call it a log. And internally, I mean, there's thousands of logs that are there. It's a yeah, crazy. Oh, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. But I mean, I'm kind of like seeing as how you're like my first official kind of guest ish. Well, no, you're my second official first guest. The room, somebody named Room the other day was my official first guest at a tryout. So this is tryout number two. What I'm going to do is I ended like I did, this is called Talking Tuesdays with Kiwis Road. And I got a lot of blank pages in there, which I got to fill up. And so I'm hoping to fill it up with searchers. Now, like we talk, and how my wife is the brainiology in the house,
Right.
learning how to. What does she do? She's a drug and alcohol counselor and a um, social work therapist. So she had to go in and to learn the personality and mental thinking dynamics of a human versus physical things, cutting a blood vein or something. Which would I hope she would know just in case that ever happens, you know what I mean? Ooh, what we got? What's that? What was that? That
I
looked like a
tried to
bunch of
turn my camera on to use the background filter, and it just came up the blue post-it note. I got covered in the camera.
Oh, it looked like a bunch of mosquitoes trying to attack you or something.
Um, if I get the light just right, there we go. There we go.
Oh, there you go. See,
I got
that's
to put the
better.
light just right on it, man.
Yeah, see now how do see that's a better background than mine.
Um, if you was to put like I have a post-it note and it's kind of stuck on the front of the top of it, covered, looped over, and I got it kind of puffed up so it's a little bit of air. Like you can see, I can throw the light and with yours, you'd have to put they use the green screen. If
I'm
you
gonna
had
have to
like a
then.
solid green screen or green paint on the back, you could probably do whatever background you want.
Well, I'm on my phone, so there's not too many options on the phone versus the tablet
Yeah.
side. But I mean, there's the tablet side. Oh, yeah. Before I forget anymore, which I like to tend to do because I just forget. People in chat, uh, feel free to talk amongst yourselves in the coach car. Coach car. What would you call it? Uh-oh. We have somebody
Um,
else that wants to come in, but this is a one person view.
They have an observation car, usually has like windows almost like all around you, solid window and in the roof, observation cars, double decker observation car.
Um, so this conversation is really going to be directed between me and you. Now, there's somebody else that would like to come in and join. What are your thoughts on that? And this is now the reason why I asked this is my wife. I was just literally talking to my wife about this, and I was like, in the direction that I want to go, I almost want to keep it one on one so that it's more interpersonal. And then hopefully down the road, people would be like, oh, I can't wait to get on. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
idea. But she's saying, well, why don't you have a panel, have, a couple of people on there? And I've noticed that as watching the other panels, you have the few that talk, the few that talk, and then you have the few that just are there in the background and they're just listening. And then they talk here and there, and it's like out of the people inside that group, I mean, who would I want to be? You know what I mean? And then it's almost the same. Would you rather keep one on one? I mean, as a direction, if you've seen this going down, would you rather see one on ones on Tuesdays, with a different person every time, or a panelized where there's a couple like we do normally on y'all streams?
It's very hard, like over 3 or 4 people, even three is usually pretty good. When you get more than three and a hot topic comes up, you got a jockey for visit and everyone's over talking to each other. It gets heated, man, and it gets hard to control. It really, really, and I don't like to silence people. I don't like where you mute them on my side and then it pisses them off, and then they have to ask to be. But sometimes, man, it gets so wild. I don't know. That's a tough call. I like the idea of one on one, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I mean, I
Well,
enjoy
so the
having more
panel
views.
part, the panel part is, I guess, the people that are in the chat. You know what I mean? But then there's the lack of it, which brought up this whole conversation because there's people in chat, and I don't want them to think that I'm ignoring them. You know what I mean? When it's supposed to be that neural networking of between me as an individual and another individual, but also incorporating other individuals like those in chat. You know what I mean? Because they might have questions for you or me, and it's like, I don't know. You know
I've
what I
always,
mean?
it's a great idea, and I'm 60. I have a hard time focusing, like giving my 100% to the conversation at hand on the panel and try to think about and read chat. I get it's a
Yeah.
hard bit. Maybe like do a 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever. It's, hey man, what do you guys think about what we just said? And just go it straight to them for like 15, 20 minutes. And all right,
And
because there's a delay. They got what, like a 30-second delay.
yep, I'm gonna write that down. So
Yeah.
actually, on here I have a section which is the last words, and so it would be last words, and then I, kind of open it up to chat to give them chances to ask questions based off of the questions I ask you and we talk about.
Well, without that's
Uh,
why like radio stations, all that's why they have a producer. That producer's like reading everything, giving like the person talking a heads up. Hey man, check out, question number. So it's hard to concentrate on both. I can't do it. I'm incapable of doing it. I'm at the point now in 3 years, I can read the chat, hear what you're saying without looking at you, and actually think about what they're saying and listen to you. But like when sometimes it catches me, I'll get caught in a question and a conversation and chat, and they're like, "Street, what do you think?" I'm like, "Oh, what was
yeah,
that? What'd you say?
yep.
Can you
I
repeat that?"
catch it too, and you're like, "Yep, I agree." Yeah,
Or
I catch
yeah,
it.
a quick, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, I like that. I'm gonna write that down. Bring chat for any questions. And I mean, along the line, I could poke down and be like, yeah, because I could see chat. You know what I mean? So I like that. That's a good addition, and that's the whole point of this whole journey is I want it to meld because I think eventually I could probably create like a melody detecting permission app where people, on a certain app would be able to get a hold of other people and be able to get protecting permission on private properties. Because for me, that's one of my hobbies, one of my time consumers is melody detecting because it affords me the ability and time to be able to relax and move about and adjust in ways that is more comfortable and less taxing than, does that make sense? Oh my God. There's something in here making me got the all kinds of sneezy bug going on.
Springtime, man. All types of pollens are in the air.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I feel it coming on. Somebody was taught me to say banana, but it'd be weird to sit here and say banana over and over and over. Oh, so I guess chat. Thanks, people in chat. Appreciate you stopping by and checking this out. Talking Tuesdays. is about me and Kiwi, or me, my journey through mental health and depression, and suicide, and learning how to go from medication to, yeah, still having medication, but using mental neurofeedback to self help and heal along this process from other people's journeys in their lives through their difficult and appraised times. And so that's like the kind of finished part, the minor madness, the intro, the journey of mental health, this train ride. And this is about the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, you know. And so I guess I'll start with story of the TTOC perspectives. So what was your overall kind of general perspective of the thrill of the chase? As far as because I know there's like a few deeper questions, but let's put it this way: do you think it was worth it?
The overall experience I've had with the thrill of the chase. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would do. I would do it just like I would do it again. Probably differently this way, just for the experience. Yeah, I'm still on it. I've
Well,
quoted it. I've been said many times. I'm all for until the day I die. The thrill of the chase will always be prominent in my thoughts.
absolutely. Then I agree. I mean, that's why I feel that hence I think the title fits perfect for the Talking Tuesdays. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you think of the title? Is that too much? Is that not enough?
Now, the thrill of the chase. I mean, that's life. That's the answer to
Yeah.
life. What is life? It's the thrill of it, but the thrill of the chasing it. I mean, I use it all the time when the kids will tell me, oh, this and that, and they'll tell me some sob, and I'll do the old shake my head. Well, that's the thrill of the chase. You're not the first.
Yeah.
You won't be the last. You can do it.
Oh, nice. Okay, so not to. I mean, it's up to. Room happened to be number one to your number two. And the room 101 is inside chat. It says it was good to talk with you the other day. I'm on that journey with you, and it was something. We had a nice conversation. I mean, it's on our on the YouTube channel because it's like I said. The whole point of this is neural networking, gaining other people's perspectives on life, the highs and the lows, because I know other people can learn from it. You know what I mean? And in a sense, I'm making this kind of the focal point. Hopefully, not too bad, but it works. It works. Oh, so Miss, real quick, sorry to sidetrack because you know me. Did you put your coins out onto the train track? Because
Oh yeah,
the
I
questions
brought a
always go.
pocket full. I
All
brought a
right,
pocket
good.
full.
Room, if you don't mind, my email is in my about section. If you could hit me up so I can add you down as a permitted area. What I'm doing is I started a new tab under Google Earth, not Google Earth as in Google Earth, but Google Maps, so that I can start pinning areas and states where I have permission to metal detect, and then that way, as I travel, I'll be like, oh, I'm next to this place. Let's go check them out and go metal detect. So yeah, it was interesting because he has some history on his property from at least mid 1800s. So, well, yeah. See, I like the way I'm going with this. And if I talk too much, feel free to just butt in. And
This place you're talking about. Do you plan on hitting the outhouses, the places where the outhouses were?
well, so if let's put it this way, if I were to write this storyline, the storyline would go that this gentleman gets back with me, he eats meal with me, and then at some point in time within this year, next year, we'll set up time to go visit my wife's sister over in Tennessee, and then probably take a couple days out and go up to uh, Kansas or Kentucky. Uh-oh. See, I don't even know which state now. I need to write that down. I also need to write his state down. There's a few questions I actually like to get answered from him in an email, because these are questions that you'll be answering if you answer them. If not, it'll just be a whole lot of yammering. But um, it's 1860s, so it's an old church place and an old schoolhouse, I think, uh, somewhere on the property, and the stones. There's a quarry that's right next to it, and there's even the old path that they were using to quarry the stone back and forth to the buildings in it. So I mean, it would be a really really interesting place to metal detect, especially since um, during those times, I mean, um, the the dirt floors before wooden floors. I mean, especially in a church, you imagine trying to get your chain down, all of a sudden you drop it in a bunch of stuff on the ground. It's like, oh, I just lost that gold data. Oh, so we better start digging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't, or they're sitting down. They don't even realize that some of that gold nugget is dropping out of their pocket.
Not
So
to mention old people, even before Blacktooth in 29, the market crash, they used mason jars, man, to put their silver coins, gold coins out in, the yard. And who knows,
so
if they passed away accidentally or whatever and didn't tell any family members. You hear a lot of stories like that in old properties, especially that area, Southern Ohio. I mean, Southern Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Appalachians. Yeah, they didn't believe in banks, a lot of them.
and it goes back kind of to like the Secrets of San Lazarus. I mean, they're digging little circles inside their rooms to keep their stuff stored and cool for food or for valuables. But so yeah, I mean, it would be really interesting, cool to check that place out for sure. And and the idea is to get my better connection, so it's not all choppy and jimmer jammery and weird looking. Is I would like, if the wife lets me, is redo the room, that spare room, and take like one trinket from that place that I visit, uh, and obviously, the rest either thrown in the trash or kept by the owner or whatever, however it works out. But to at least have one thing and then have it, you know, shown on here, and I could be like, oh, that item that came from, so and so on page, April 23rd. I don't know. You got some good property to metal detect there.
A lot of old farms. Yeah, old,
Yeah.
well, I think what was it, 1850s is when 1870s, I think, when Ohio became a state. So people were here for like 50, 60, 70 years before that. But a lot of old farms. Any county you go to has that old farmer or that old farmhouse. Yeah.
Well, later on, the question is going to be, do you know people where we can go militech? And that way, if I'm ever out there, we go militech. But that's for later on. So I ended up, my whiteboard was, I had to erase my whiteboard because the cats were erasing it. So, like I described the Chase marketplace. What brought you, um, what brought you into the thrill of the chase?
The first
Like,
thing was
was it something bad? Was it something good? Was it just, yeah, check this out? I mean, and you're, uh, whenever you divulge, I mean, obviously this is recorded. It's on YouTube. It's a learning experience and exercise. So, I mean, if you got something that can help
hell,
somebody
everyone
else,
already knows my address. Everyone knows my
well,
address. Thanks.
not
What do
not
I
from
have to
not
hide
from
now?
here, not from here. You shoot me an email with that private stuff, and it stays private because honey holes. You got to keep honey holes. That's why they're called honey holes. You know what I mean? But I mean, what really brought you like into the chase?
What caught my attention was the picture of the treasure chest, the one that's in the book, opened. And once I dove into it, it was like, oh wow, um, that sounds like a hell of an adventure. And it was a challenge. I like, who wrote it? An old man born in the third. Hell, I think I can crack this, man. Shit, let me have a go at it, man. And yes, it was the gold that drew me in, but it didn't take long to think, wow, this is the best game I've ever played. And I started watching YouTube and the blogs. I'm like, wow, man, I think I can get into this game. Seems pretty cool. But,
Yeah.
it was always that um, adventure, a mental workout that I could do in the comfort of my home. I could do, boots on the ground or whatever you want to call it through Google Maps and searching and researching. That was boots on the ground to me.
Yep.
Coming up with an idea and saying, oh, I think this, the boys, Wyoming. I think I'll research that and spend like the next 3-4 days, like constantly. Wow. All right, cool. Look at that. Oh, neat. Yeah. New discoveries, just discovering new things, man, without leaving the comfort of my home.
So I mean, like you're saying, if you go outside and you see a tree, you see trees. If you go outside and you jump in the water, now you know what water is. You go to a beach, you know what a beach is. So if somebody's sitting there trying to describe, you're gonna see some trees on the beach, and you might need to get in the water. You don't have to go there to see that or feel that or imagine it. If you could just use your imagination to put it together where you're at. I mean, that's what I did with Google Earth. It was like, well, what would make sense along this journey? Yeah, it was definitely an arm. I wouldn't say armchair hunt, but definitely something you would have to look into and try to learn some kind of basic knowledge. Because I mean, I'm not much of the archaeology and book reading stuff and whatnot, and geography and whatnot. It's like so I learned quite a bit just from the thrill of the chase.
A lot of it was it was all mental to me. I won't say a lot of it. Probably 99% of it was mental. The social interaction, um, getting to know people, and you've been in enough of these things, man. As soon as people start sharing personal information, psychologically they're bonding, man, and that's what humans do. We're pack animals. We bond.
And and that's why I was saying the other day is that unfortunately, bad trauma seems to bond people stronger than positive traumas. And that's a part about talking Tuesdays is maybe there's a trauma going on that you just need to kind of talk out. I'm not a therapist, not a licensed therapist, but I paid attention here or there, and I learned enough to sit there and at least be able to call myself crazy and be happy with it because you know I mean, there's things that I think, and it's like, is it possible? Is it impossible? Who knows? But if it's something we can share,
Well, what makes a better story? And it has to do with lessons learned in life. What makes a better story? Some guy goes up to the drive-through or the store and buys $20 worth of lottery tickets and wins 1 million. Well, he's a millionaire anyhow. It don't really matter. But yet you have another guy who worked 8 hours that day doing, yard work around his neighborhood, got the money, blah blah, and then bought the tickets and you know won $1 million. Well, the second story is better. He worked for it, man. He actually donated the time, effort, worked for what he wanted, and got what he wanted, as opposed to like that trust fund baby type with idle hands.
yes,
So when you talk about struggles, some of the most interesting people I've ever met are the ones that have fallen on their face so many times, and chances are they're falling on their face now when I'm talking to them. penniless, ain't got a pot to piss in. But boy, talk about life lessons, man. If you get needed advice, talk to the bum sitting on the corner, man. He's not there for no reason.
I know that's what happened in Vegas, and that's how I broke my hand. Sat on the corner talking to a couple bums. Well, depending on what you consider bum, I mean, a homeless person or a person just bumming off in the corner. I mean, so I mean, these people were homeless, or at least they appeared to be homeless with their shopping carts and stuff, and sleeping right there with the giant karate cat rats.
Well,
God, it was
that's my
crazy.
point. The name we give them, we all know what we're talking about. And instantly nowadays, it's drug addict goes with bum and homeless. It's a drug addict. Well,
Yep.
bum, if I say bum or a billionaire, anything that billionaire, people's going to be glued to him, going to be, oh, everything they say is gold and, oh, he's a billionaire.
Yep.
But yet, the bum that ain't got a pot to piss, and I guarantee they can give you advice on anything that's going on in your life, no matter what it is.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the advice that they gave, but I mean, like bits and pieces flicker here and there, and it's like I know it was good conversation. It was good conversation. That's for sure. How many bums do you go talk to?
I am a bum.
All right, well then, hey, we're hitting our quota for the day. So check mark
everyone,
one bum.
everyone I can, man. And you can tell, especially, I don't, not well, I shouldn't say. When I look at them, I can usually tell by their eyes and their weathered face, man. If and how, I can tell even before I go up. And once I engage, hey, how you doing today, or whatever, I can pretty much sum it up real quick. Are you there because of, y- y- well, I can sum it up, man. Rather, I'm going to take what they say and continue conversating with them, or just, oh, all right, take it easy. Here's $1. You know.
Right? No, they it kind of looked out. I mean, and it's funny. It is funny. I'll share this story. So we went out. We played the World Series of Fenn. I mean, not that you care about the story, but I'm gonna share it with you anyway because it's Talking Tuesdays, and I'm talking, right? No, that's rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to be funny. But anyhow, scratch, delete, exit, exit, exit. Is well, went down and we did the World Series event. It's been a while since I drank because I had quit drinking a long time ago, and I was just I was drinking and having a good time playing some poker, waiting to play some poker, played some poker, got 10th. And then we went out to a club and did some more drinking. And by that time, I guess people lose themselves. They start to lose themselves. So apparently, I was losing myself, so to speak. And so the wife was trying to rein me back in and say, "Hey, um, maybe we should go. It's time to go." I'm like, "Okay, okay, give me a few more minutes." I turn around and she's gone. I'm like, "What the hell happened? She's gone." So I go outside and I'm looking for her. She's not around. And I'm like, "Oh man, I don't even know where the hotel's at." So I'm just looking. I'm like, I know we're in a flamingo. So I'm like looking for a pink flamingo. I'm like, oh wait a minute, I see something like way over there. I can't remember how many blocks away or like half a block or whatever. It seemed like forever. But anyway, we're going and we're walking down, or not me. I'm walking down, and of course there's these trees that are hanging, and one of them had a low hanging branch, and it got in my way and started accosting me. So got a little tussle with the tree, hence the broken hand. Never healed right, I don't think. But after that, I'm like, oh damn, this hurts. And I cross the street, and there's like these three homeless people just hanging out by the fence, just chilling, chillaxing. And somehow I just got in conversation with them. Well, it just gets funnier. And so so there's people that, so this is twice now that somebody else has tried to come in, and I think I'm gonna have to try to do it. This is nice. That means I got two other people for 2 weeks now. I got JD and then now Ian. The is that French? La Falam. Lear Falam. Anyway, yeah, we'll have to let them all in on next week, so that way they can get on the board and get documented. But anyhow, as I'm yammering is I ended up smoking with these guys, and they're homeless people. It's like that's not very smart, dude. Especially with all that shit that's going out there, especially with fentanyl and stuff. But beggars can't be choosers, you know what I mean? I've had fentanyl patches before. That shit that mess you up a little bit. But when I got home, I was telling some of my good friends about it, and they're like automatically they had a song. It's called "Faded with a Stranger." So if you ever get bored and you want to listen to a funny song, and you can picture me, stumbling down the street all drunk, hanging out with some homeless people, getting faded with a stranger. I mean, depends on how you want to use the word faded, but you get the point. Listen to the song, and it's just like I just couldn't stop laughing. I mean, thinking about it makes me want to laugh. I mean, that's how funny it is. But hey, you got a crazy story like that?
Oh man, I got a lot of crazy stories. Fighting a tree? No, I've never fought. No,
You ain't ever fought a tree?
I got my ass kicked by a bush once. It tripped me up, slammed me down, threw me around, held me for hours. I woke up all bruised and beaten the other day.
Oh God!
Never a tree though.
Bush fight.
Yeah, they're
Oh
nasty
my
little
legend.
bastards, man. They are. They're vicious.
Well, now, was it a prick?
Yeah, it was a little prick, man. It was one
No,
of those
man.
little green, and they're like they get those little red like seed things on them. Then yeah, they got kind of thorns on them. They're not rose bushes, but they could double as one, man. Yeah. Well, it kind of explains why the homeless people. You probably that's TV for them. That you probably made their day, man. You see, look at him. Oh shit, that tree's got him now. Oh shit, he's coming back. Hold on, don't count me out.
No wonder why they were like, "Hey, man, come here, come hang out.
Come here,
We seen what
man.
happened."
God damn, that tree kicked your ass, man. Come here.
Oh my Lanta.
That's
And
why
I,
we're sitting over across the street under this one. That damn tree's a bully, man. He beats the shit out of everybody.
oh man, yeah, that she's got a heart on for everybody. That's a shame. So, I mean, just I tried to like get a structure, and it's a process, you know. But oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to allow that one because I mean, did you end up rolling around in that bush enough? You got pricked by the bush. Somebody put you got your prick in a bush was the question mark. It's like
Um,
no, you got pricked by the bush. So the bush was pricked by pricking you with the
well,
bush.
I guess how you look at it, man. It was vicious. It
Dude,
took me
were
days
you
to
wearing
recover.
shorts? Were you wearing shorts?
No, luckily I was not, man. Oh, I would have been
Well
a
then,
bloody mess.
yeah, that definitely would have been a sight to see. Not really. Poor man rolling around fighting with a
It
thorn
was
bush, getting
dark out. I
strapped
couldn't.
up.
It was dark out. I couldn't see. And that damn bush just wouldn't let me go, man. I was yelling and screaming, "Help me! Help me!"
you, I need to say, was it recent where you have to push one of those tabs? I'm not sure if you got one of those. I know some of them older people, they get one of those life alerts, and I'm not saying you're old, but
That was
at the
one
very
day.
least,
That was one day I wish I had it because I would have been pushing the shit out of it.
you get them. The next thing you know, the cops and the ambulance are rolling up. Like, what's going on? Be like, man, You need to call the fire department and burn this fucking bush down.
Help me, help me. Won't let me go. Help me.
That's funny. Yeah.
I
That's
think it was a
actually kind
little,
of
honestly, now that I think it was a little Chinese bush, matter of fact.
oh my word. That's too funny. Oh my Lanta. Oh, okay. Structure. Chasetopia. So what have you learned from the chase now that it's over? There's things going on. Well, let me respond to Ian real quick. Ian, sorry, I'm trying a one at a time thing for now. See, I have to say what I'm typing, or else it doesn't type out right.
Or you could just talk it and he'll hear it in chat. This ain't starting good, Kiwi. All right, take 2. Cut this out. Edit this part.
No. I'm trying a one at a time for now to see how this goes. I hope you can read or hear as I relay this message. Yeah. Doing a one at a time relay. Doesn't even spell relay right. Or message. It says mess. Oh, see, he's trying to go back in here. That means when he's trying to come into Zoom. All right, so how do I ignore? I'd have to kick him out. I don't want to kick him out. Oh, now I just lost us. What happened? Oh, we're not even on here.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you and see you.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Then you spell. See, this is why I have to say it out loud. Didn't even spell you right. Spelled YOH. Oh. OYOU. There. And I'm trying a one at a time person on this Talking Tuesdays for now, right now. So I do hope that you don't get discouraged, and I hope that you come back another Tuesday and be the first one to hop onto the Zoom link, so that you will be the next one that gets written down. Dun, dun, dun. In this journey of life that we're all taking and being a part of, because it'd be interesting, because I hope it goes outside of the Thrill of the Chase, outside of Forrest, Fenn, to other chases, other people, just other, family members. Like, hey, you gotta hop on this guy's channel and just BS him. He's dumb as shit, and then he's got nothing to say, but sometimes he's funny. So at the very least, you might get a laugh, right?
If that don't suck him in, he's in a shed, man, in his backyard. Oh shit! Why did you say shed? Hell.
Well, one of my lures. Oh, here we go again. I gotta sneeze. Video's on you for a sec. Nope, sneeze went away. That was quick. That's what the Forrest Fenn coin update thing is part of with this Talking Tuesdays, is so I don't have to do it at the end of the month, but yet I could do it at every show, and then it kind of gets that word out there too. Give me something to do in my time consumer time as I'm hanging out doing other things, trying to make heaven work for the wife. Oh, so that's what we were working on, is Chasetopia. Chasetopia, what have you learned from Chasetopia? I mean, what have you learned from everything so far? Either profound or something small and trivial, or both. Who cares? I write it down anyway.
I've learned a lot, honestly. I've learned so much, man, not only about myself, but about others. Wow. One in particular. Um, I think the most profound one for me is it just substantiates what I believe for the vast majority of my life. Never give up, man. Never give up on a dream. Never give up.
That's actually kind of interesting you say that, because somebody room also was saying the same very thing the other day, and I wanted to write it down and I couldn't remember what it was, and that was exactly what it was. Um, Never give up. And family and pets and friends are, um, as we were discussing, our anchors, and I love hearing you talk about your grandkids and showing their toys and stuff, doing them little shorts. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Um, I kind of got away from the grandkids and the toys, not because my kids don't, like I said, it's a running joke, which grandkid's going to get the most views. Which one's going, so they never bothered it, but it got to the point where uh, it's bad enough people invade my space. I'm kind of worried about them and start invading theirs, like, yeah. So I
Right?
kind of went off of that with the toys and the grandkids.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good observation.
Um,
I would have to agree with that one.
yeah. Um, well,
I
talk
like what
about
you.
depression. My second divorce, I got custody of three girls, 7, 5, and 2. And I won't say I was suicidal, but I will say I didn't look forward to waking up every day, man. I didn't look forward to the grind of the day. It was beating me down year after year. And I was just starting to get my feet underneath me, where I actually enjoyed facing the day. And that's when, ironically, the thrill of the chase came across my path. And I was like, wow, serendipitous, man. I mean, yeah, I'm getting up off the couch. I spent 10 years basically lying on a couch, man. Dinner, laundry, homework, school, dinner, laundry, homework, school, football or baseball practice, softball practice, volleyball, blah, blah. I just got mundane. But like I said, I was up off the couch and was looking forward to waking up. Looking forward to
Yep.
it.
And I was talking with my neighbor today because um, he unloaded some heavy stuff today. Is the power of uh, suggestion, the power of just hope is just so amazing. Um, there was somebody I was just talking to. How um, like I think their father, there's a piece of their brain was missing or something like that, and the brain is so powerful that it literally can heal itself to the point that it ended up replacing parts of the brain. And it was like, I mean, it's astonishing the little credit that we give our body on a physical sense to heal itself. To learn and control that mentality is, I think, a far more powerful and tool to help the body heal. And it goes towards that positive neural feedback in that 5 seconds or less to change from not having hope because you're in a stuck place to, I think, Forrest Fenn. I'm now thinking about a paragraph. Next thing you know, I'm hopping in the shower. I'm getting me a bowl of cereal. I'm looking in the book. I'm looking at maps. You know what I mean? That hope is a powerful thing.
Well, I've mentioned it many times. Probably the first 2, 3 months when I first January of 2016, from January 13th up until like the end of the month, it was not unusual for me to be waking up dead out of sleep at 3, 4 in the morning, man, and could not go back to sleep, putting coffee on and like straight to the computer, man, straight to research, straight. And honestly, I went from 10 years of, I could sleep 16 hours, man. If I didn't have to
Yeah.
get up, I could stay in bed and just drift in and out for 16 fucking hours because I didn't want to face the day, man.
Well, and to what you just said is kind of the same thing that me and my dad talk about, and we talk about it seriously in a sense, jokingly but seriously. Excuse me. Is if you think about life, just think about life, where you're at right now, where you're sitting, what you're drinking, who's around you, where you're at, the building, the trees outside, whatever. Where is the most comfortable place? The most place where you can control anything that happens is in your bed when you're sleeping. And you can escape your pain, you can escape, not I'm not saying that you can, oh yeah, you can automatically escape your pain per se, but there are methods and techniques to redirect how your mind associate and deals with that pain, I guess, in a sense. That's a journey that I'm working on. So I mean, it's a journey I've been working on, is how to mentally heal myself without using the medication in a sense. Trying to, but I'm still on the medication, so I mean, it's at least my mind is good. I'm here, right? I'm a 23 instead of one of 22. So,
Yep.
yeah. But
I noticed in my battle, it was a fucking toe to toe battle with depression. Um, it's easy to read all the DIY books, go to counseling and all. It's easy to do that. And yeah, the answer's right there. It makes sense. I can see it. But to enact
yeah,
it, it's like, it ain't that. And I know how you feel. That's the worst thing you can say. But here's the catch. All it takes is one spark of hope, something you'd look forward to in the morning. Just one little thing totally sets it, turns all, it becomes not an issue, man. That
yep,
dealing, because you have one spark of hope there, man. Um,
yeah.
and I've talked privately with a lot of people, and they had said I was down and out. I mean, I was on my last thread, and then this came, and I took it as a sign. And guess what? That was their one hope.
And it worked,
Yeah.
And I think so. And that the word hope with what Forrest Fenn did in the present to include, when he hid the chest up to present today. I mean, that was a hope span. So my hope is with Talking Tuesdays is to carry a little bit of that with a whole lot of emotion and mental thinking between people, uh, beyond, and to let it continue so that there's that hope of, I can't wait to see what comes out next week. Uh, Even if it's stupid and it doesn't even come out, at least you hope for something stupid that didn't come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that time consumer, and so the idea of, you know waiting a week for something for one day is, I think, a okay time consumer frame in a sense, versus somebody that goes on every day or once a month or every now and then or sporadically 4 times in a row.
Here's
You
another
know,
thing I noticed, and I got 60 years underneath my belt. I am not going to be faced with anything I can't handle, and anything I overcome, I had to overcome it in order to succeed and handle what I overcame. In other words, you
mhm.
can't read a book to learn how to live. You have to live it, man, and you have to learn through it. And I guess the universe, God, whatever you higher hand, will not put anything in front of you. Basically, they're walking a path of, it's called practical job training, PJT, and then boom, you learn your lesson, and you learned it, usually the hard way. That's the ones that last the longest, and it molds you to understand and cope with whatever it was you overcame. In other words, God's not going to give you nothing free. And once you earn it, you'll know why you earned it, and it'll manifestation. You know, a lot of times if you get something handed to you, you're not going to appreciate it because you didn't work for it.
Yep, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Holy cow. I'm running out of writing room, and I ain't even gotten onto like page 2 or anything. So, like, state, like, what state? And don't say state of mind because land isn't an issue. But what state, if you were to pick a state, in the, I get the question really is like, what story from the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase, either just the one book or 3 books, or just Forrest Fenn outside, would have brought you to that state in your general search area and stuff, if there was anything?
I went March of 2016 to outside Du Bois, Wyoming. And what took me there was, it wasn't really, I got a sense of, okay, he's a successful business, a good old Texan. You got everything he says, you better, it's double entendres and all. I gotta check everything. There's a lesson to be
Mm-hmm.
learned here. Long story short, I counted up all the letters in the poem, and it came up to like 602, I think 620, whatever it was. I flew at the end of Aquifer runway because that's the, where warm waters halt, Aquifer. That's the
Okay.
airport. And he told the story about by himself swinging he was so proud he could swing the hangar doors, pull his plane out, and he had a full tank of gas, and he'd turn off the radio and fly low and didn't have to worry about it for over 600 miles. I thought, shit, 602 letters, whatever, 600. I'm like, I'll give it a try. And I just flew around, and it led me to the base of Coffin Butte in Wyoming. The first shot out,
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
oh my gosh. I thought, coffin, death. And then I looked at the valley, it's heart shaped. So if any one story led
Really?
me to Du Bois was the story about swinging the hangar bay open and taking off from Aquafura.
Yeah, that would so you flew out to
No,
Du
no,
Bois?
no. On Google Pro, Google Earth Pro, whatever, where
Okay.
you can fly mode, where you
Okay.
could fly,
Okay.
and I would fly through the canyons from
So
Aquifer all the
you
way up
mentally
to.
did it.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I did it on Google Earth in flight.
Yep.
I think it's called flight mode.
Well, I call it like clicking the mouse and scrolling it, and clicking the mouse and scrolling it, and dragging,
Well,
and
you could
that's how
do.
I fly through it.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I forget. It's something about instead of doing like the straight line from the end there all the way up, I did the flying, and it calculated the path. Even if I curved and stuff, it calculated the miles instead of like a straight line on just pinning it.
No, I heard you say something about there was a heart
Well,
somewhere.
ironically, right out, it's northeast out of Du Bois, maybe 5 miles, 10 miles at the most. It's a heart-shaped valley, and it's Coffin Butte is in the middle. On the left, that forms the left, is Pinnacle Butte, which the last time the devil ever tempted Christ was on the pinnacle of the church. And then on the right side is Ram's Horn. Well, devil, ram, coffin in the middle, heart-shaped valley, and these are massive buttes. I forget how many hundreds of feet they are. And I thought, perfect, man. And it led Kiwi. It was like
Wow.
exactly whatever 602, 622, whatever. I think it was 602 at the
Uh
very
huh.
base of Coffin Butte. And I thought, man, come on. And then I looked up Du Bois, and it was they got all the railroad ties for when they were building. I forget what railroad line it was. It might even have been like the civil. I don't know north and south, but anyhow, it was a major thing. And I thought, oh, Homer Brown, Brown Railroad. Yeah. Anyhow, it just all added up. And hell, within 3 months of coming across the chase, I was out there in March of all times where it's what, 12 feet of snow?
How was that trek?
Yeah, well, I didn't get back there.
Well, with that amount of snow, I can see why you wouldn't make it
But
back.
but it taught me a very valuable lesson the whole time. Patience, man. Patience.
So I guess the next, yeah, patience is a very Kiwi. Kiwi's a good patience teacher. Not really. She gets me on my nerves with the first squat. Next, I guess the next one would be like, so I have passing on history with hunts and hobbies. So I mean, because I know like as kids we're all like thrown into school. We got school, playground, recess. We're in a sense forcibly mixed, and people make friends and enemies. Then you go through high school and people go higher education, military, vocational. And then you get into your work and adulthood. And I've noticed that throughout these stages in life, uh, the amount of acquaintances and friends, varies from time to time. But I've noticed the older I get, it seems like the personalities are harder to accept from people per se, or by people, or from other people. So it makes it hard to make good relations and good acquaintances and good friends. So part of that is hobbies and hobbies that we do to pass that time, especially now that the thrill of the chase is in a sense over. The thrill of the chase in life absolutely is not over. I mean, there's information that's still to be had and learned. So I guess my question would be is what what is there any other hunts or hobbies that you're into or that you do that get you outside of the house or anything like that? Just in your adventure into finding what makes you happy or what whatever kind of purpose. I mean, there's or have you not found it yet? And you're singing that U2 song like me. Still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Um,
Did I lose you? Did I like
no,
just hit you
no,
with just too much?
no, no. Fishing takes up, and the camper van thing, like day trips, week trips, weekend trips. I look forward to finding secluded places, where I could pull off along a pond, a river, or a lake where I don't have to pay. I can put the tarp out,
Yes.
build a fire, and be away from people. I look for solitary, man, in nature when I do it. Yeah, that takes up, and grandkids, spending time with the grandkids. That's my hobbies.
We'll have to hook up and do some camping somewhere in the middle. Do some fishing
Yeah,
for
if,
sure.
if you're going to be up in Kentucky, yeah, that's only like 5, 6 hours
Oh,
away.
if we go to Kentucky, it's driving. Or will we fly? We probably would fly and rent a car. Oh, I'll have to work out logistics with that one. Yeah, I've I've found peace being out there in nature because there's nothing to me tainting uh, what's around me besides myself and my thoughts. So if I go in there with positive thoughts, man, I hope positive things happen. Sometimes it works out that way.
Well, for me, I'm a Pisces, and my brain just never shuts off, man. Even in my sleep, honestly, it just never shuts off. And the only time I can have actual peace of mind is out by myself along a riverbank, hearing the water, knowing no one else is around, and a fishing pole, man. And I can drift off for hours, man, hours, and not think a thing. Just stare and watch the, nature.
That's awesome.
I play a game too. I close my eyes and see if I can see with my ears. You can hear. You wouldn't believe. Go out on a riverbank, water, anywhere. There's a lot. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it's nice. And just listen to the lap of the water and close your eyes, and you'll start hearing like you won't believe. Won't not one or two crickets, or you'll hear them all over. You'll hear birds. You'll hear wings
Then you'll be,
flapping.
you're
Yeah.
picking them out where they're coming from.
Yeah, I just have a hard time staying awake. After about an hour of that, I'll like wake up 2 hours later, like, what? Whoa.
Oh, the neighbors are out on their roof again, jumping onto the trampoline. Somebody's gonna get hurt. I love. There was a lot of outdoor activities I used to love doing. I mean, fishing was one of them by far. But after the two back surgeries, is the prolonged standing has made it. It gets quite uncomfortable after a short period of time, and so I mean, I lost the joy in a lot of things, and that's where some of that depression came or got stronger. Um, and so uh, it's like, why move from a position where I feel comfortable and I'm not hurting just to go do something to be hurting? It doesn't make sense. But it's that quality of life. You're sacrificing. You're sacrificing, and sometimes we don't know it or don't learn about it until later on down the road.
I had a problem. I have a bad back, hard labor. I got fused, vertebrae fused together. I have what they call it, cervical fusion, not degenerative disc disease, where my
Uh-huh.
lower back's just fusing. But I found and it was at a yard sale, man, driving by, and I was thinking about, I had just come fishing, and it's one of those, I think they're called beach chairs, where there's no legs on them. Like when you sit in it and you can adjust the back, you can sit in it, adjust the back, and I bring a pillow with me, it's a boat pillow, like, because you can stand the water, and my legs basically are straight out in front of me on the ground. It's like I think they're called beach chairs. It's a lazy boy chair with no legs on it. You're basically sitting like a matter of inches off the ground. It works for me, man. I can spend more time out there. Of course, I don't fly fish. You ain't go fly. You got to be one hell of a good fly fisherman to do it that way. No,
Well, I'm trying to teach Kiwi to be a fly fisher girl. That way she can just fly around and see a fish and get it.
or just teach her to hover over it so you can cast out there.
No, I'd hate to sit there and hook her. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah,
So I need to teach her how to go fishing like an eagle. Yeah, I have a hard. So like for me, so my L5 and S1 is fused, and prior to that fusion, there was a bone spur that was digging into that nerve core, and so for sitting out and stretching those legs out, it puts a lot of stretch onto those uh, muscles and strands and stuff, and it's like, nah, starts
yeah.
hurting a little too much. It's like, next position, please. This is good. So how's this conversation going? Are you enjoying it? Is it could I wish there was like music or something, pep it up or something. I don't know.
A disco ball or something.
Well, I mean, I thought these lights shifting was good enough, but
Yeah.
apparently not. Passing hobbies, what types of activities? It's Talking Tuesdays. It's like, man, I mean, who doesn't like having something to look forward to? I'd hate to say it's like church, but I mean, people have church to go to. People have Friday nights they go out to a club on. And the people have Bible studies they go to. This is just like, I call this the Cosmos studies because I mean, my Talking Tuesdays opens up neural networking from other people, which other people are experiencing the cosmos. So I'm Cosmos networking. Yeah, that's hobbies. Oh, sharing and permitting. So, like I said, if you happen to like have some property you don't mind metal detected, or you know people who wouldn't mind doing some metal detecting or whatnot, my email is in my about. Feel free to email me, or just email me regardless. I don't mind shooting the chit chat anyway, outside of normal business hours. But then again, the business hours are always unnormal. Oh well. Yep. So just anytime. Email's open 24/7. Just put in like Talking Tuesdays Adventures, and then yeah. So I can't even put a P on there because you haven't given me any metal detecting permissions or anything.
If I come across any, I'll let you know, man.
Yeah, see, you probably can't see it. I have a P on there. It means I got permission. And your page don't have a P. It's un P certified.
I left it back in that damn Chinese bush, man.
And it's just that's one of our hobbies. And we love hunting history and learning about history. And people have family history and property history, etc. And it's getting the feelers out. You know what I mean?
Well, while you're if Kentucky's the area you're going to, I'm sure Kansas is the same. And you're going to someone's private location, if there's creeks and streams around, you'll find arrowhead, all types of tools
Mhm.
all over the place, especially after like spring runoff and all that. And then the creeks go kind of low, like
Yeah,
midsummer. You'll find all kinds of stuff
yeah. They got some farmland. Always finding arrowheads they mention.
when
It's
they till up the
interesting.
ground in spring. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. And so yeah, that goes to the metal detecting. I'm creating the that maps thing where I can sit there and go metal detecting out there in the history, hunting it. What else I got? I got Kiwi learning in progression update accountability system. So not that you care or anything, but I thought I'd let you know that Kiwi's doing okay. She's doing good on her training for flying. I tried teaching her to say I love you the other day by singing the song or a song. That's funny. She'll sit there and try to talk and under your breath, but as soon as you hit the camera, she just gets like all camera shy and stuff. Do you got any pets or anything?
Besides my children, grandchildren, nope.
I knew that one was coming. Oh, we'll have to.
Nope,
That
my
was
plate is filled, man. I can't handle no more
a.
pets. And hell, the
That's
kids
good.
keep bringing these stray babies home all the time. It's like, damn, where'd you find that mugrat?
Oh, we'll have to. That's so cute. I love it. Let's see. Yeah. Single island. Oh, coin giveaway
You know what?
update.
Honestly, you know
What happened?
what amazes me with my grandkids? They
Uh
actually
huh.
look up to me, man. I'm thinking of they're like they're happy to see me. They look up to me. I'm like, wow, okay. It makes me feel important, when I walk in the room.
Well, how tall are you?
Oh, I'm short, man. I'm like 5'7" now. I shrunk like almost 4 inches.
Okay, let me ask you this question: are they still crawling around?
Yeah, there's some crawlers.
All right. Well, then,
Yeah,
who
there's some
doesn't
crawlers.
admire them looking up to you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, like, what are the eight? Like, I guess, like in general ages, maybe.
I have two that's in the oven that's due in
Oh,
well,
congratulations.
in a month or two, and then late summer. Then the youngest is 2 months old, and then a year old, and then there's two 2-year olds, a 3-year old, a 5-year
Wow.
old. Let's see, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
all of them. They don't watch this, luckily. I hope I don't forget. I didn't forget any. Yeah, I got them all spread out, man.
Oh, it's still only 94. So there's that Forrest Fenn coin giveaway that I'm doing, which is actually the link is tagged there in the chat, pinned at the top, in case anybody's interested. It's a like I said, it's an $1885 gold piece from the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase, which that goes with the title, Forrest Fenn stuff. Oh, I hear the wife outside talking to Gunner. But it's
How many comments are you up to now?
we're up to 94 out of 112. Though the numbers are very misleading because I like to go on and respond to people, or try to as fast as I can, but not as fast as I can because I just enjoy doing other things like not doing anything. But for lack of a better word, um, but 94 out of 112. And but that's the fourth drawing out of 14, but there's two extra special drawings in there, so 16 total. And what was I about to say? I was about to say something. Oh, the fourth one gets a trinket. There was four trinkets that I had gotten along this journey with the Forrest Fenn. Uh, just small things, but this next drawing, someone gets to pick a trinket, either a silver ring or a penny or what was the other thing? The ring. Oh, a stone chip. It's got a chip in it. Don't ask me how it got a chip in it. Can't answer that question. But yeah, I think I seen you go on there and say namaste. Namaste to you too. Namaste.
Yep.
So yeah, 94 out of 112. But once we get to 112, then it's goes up to 228. But again, the numbers won't be true because all the comments that'll be commented. But,
Yeah.
oh well, it just means it sits in the safe a little bit longer, protected. And then, which again, more Forrest Fenn stuff is. There's just so much coming out with this 9 Mile hole area, Forrest Fenn Rock along the Madison River, etc., etc. A lot of people who may or may not know me, a I wouldn't say I'm a 9 Mile holer or a nooker. I'm a Madison River and a cornerstone person. That I look at the Fenn Rock as a special fishing spot between a father and son, where they had probably some good times and conversations. And it was a place that they talked a lot about when they would visit each other. So that's how I would pick and got to where I got. But since there's so much in the air and etc., I decided to uh, create what's called the Madison Project, and I created a Facebook page for that, like a group, a Facebook group called the Madison Project. And the idea is, if supposedly that this uh, great treasure hunt we were all on, the journeys supposedly brought us into Yellowstone along the Madison and crossing the Madison to a big tree that was struck by lightning. The idea for the Madison Project is to get that step away from the Fenn Rock and get a good picture, almost like a panoramic picture of across the river, to see if you could spot when that lightning tree struck had fallen, and whether or not it had fallen, in what year or month. And so I think that's an interesting thing. And I don't know if you've been out there or not, but I don't think
No,
you have.
no.
I,
The boys,
I think you
I didn't enter
detest
the
that
park.
area, don't you?
Yeah, I never even went into the park. I got probably around 25 miles away from the Teton, whatever the Tetons,
Uh huh.
coming in on what, like 287. It probably whether they consider that the south, the
Yeah, I think
bottom
the south side.
entrance. Yeah,
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 that's a pretty drive there. That's a real pretty
yeah.
drive.
Beautiful, man.
that whole
The
area.
eastern part of Wyoming did not impress me, man. I was like, God, I hope it gets better. I know it does, but this is pathetic, man. It's just brown, nasty, rolling nothingness.
That's like part of here in Idaho. There's
Really?
parts like that. Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely parts like that. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we could do that too. I like that idea. So, um, I guess it brings it down to the last words. I guess we could open up the Zoom and see if anybody else wants to come in now. Yeah, because I'm about done with them kind of questions. I mean, they were just kind of some generic questions just to kind of get you know some of that positive, negative life uh, perspective from people.
Well, here's another thing I noticed. I've come
Yeah,
across many people in this chase where by reading their comments and never actually talking with them, I have a viewpoint of them. And as soon as the first time I talk to them for like one of these, it's like, oh wow, man, they're not like they were. I must have misunderstood some of their, or it's a little bit different when you're actually speaking one on one. I mean, you don't have to. We're
yeah,
literally you could say we're in the same room talking face to face. It's a little bit different. And if there's misunderstanding, people say, "Whoa, wow, what do you mean by that, man? Could you say that again?" Yeah, I noticed that.
yeah. There's no kidding and there's no lie in that first impression. Makes a statement, and
Well, I'll give you an example.
sometimes
Dave Woodard never talked to him in person, commented, and no matter, I think he's wrong, but that's my opinion. And how he's going about it, I think's wrong. But talking to him, yeah, he's welcome to come on. He was a nice guy, man. I mean, I disagree with him, but yeah, he's welcome. I'll
yeah,
talk to him anytime he pops on.
and that's the whole point of let's talk it out. You know what I mean? Speaking of what, let's talk it out. If there's anybody that's still hanging out on this crazy train of ours, or mine, or this shed, and you're still in chat, and you'd like to come on and give a few of your thoughts, hit that Zoom like and hop on here, and we'll have a little powwow for a few minutes. Anybody got any last comments or anything that they'd like to ask Street or myself or Street, especially Street or Street? Feel free to ask them in the comments. Go ahead. I mean, I'm sure people have said something, but this channel, I mean, this is like, nope, this is Kiwis Road, man. This me and the bird. So there's like nobody ever really there paying attention except for a few people who have been quite to the joyful and benefit of an emotional uh, better well-being. I appreciate the people that have actually kind of come out from the start with me in a sense uh, lately and kind of been hanging out, and you just happen to be one of them. I know that. What's all this stuff called? What? I got this stupid heart thing on this thing. Oh, there we go. Thank you. What's all this sign up stuff to call in? Nothing. Just all you gotta do is hit the disclaimer. Read the disclaimer. It's a simple disclaimer. It's just to protect myself to let people know, hey, this is what it is. Which I mean, I don't know what it is. What is information that people can or cannot use? It's out here. It's on YouTube. It's on Zoom. It's live. It's recorded, and it's there for people to get a better perspective of life and how to change their down upside down, so they're no longer frowning. But yeah, anybody want to hit the thing? Come on in. We got a few minutes. I mean, how long you feel like hanging out? I got all night. I got nothing else better to do.
Nah, man, I'm good. I'll hang out for a while.
Yeah. So who in chat is gonna come on? Who's got it? I already have an account. I ain't gonna use another email here. You don't have to use an email, do you? Oh, if
Yeah,
you say that there's
it asks for my name and email. Yep.
name and email, okay. So I can change that, I guess, and take off the email thing.
Hell,
Would
I
that
don't.
make it easier?
I got my email out on my about page. Yeah, I'll put my email out. And then the disclaimer is just saying basically, yeah, this is about this, and that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. I'm a paranoid person.
Well, me too. I after my interaction with my neighbor, uh, yeah, I'm really paranoid about people. I can't even trust them as far as I can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, let alone throw 'em.
Well,
Yeah.
some people might have an issue. I read it. I didn't have an issue. I just never knew you could do those things. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to check into my parameters, man. How did he come up with that?
Let's see. I'm gonna ask Troy if I can fix that quick. How do I fix that quickly? Now, I wonder if I can go in there while we're live onto the Zoom and change the settings to make it so that, or would it screw up our Zoom that we're in now?
I don't know.
Probably. There's one way to find out. What if it's going to ask me to transfer over? Oh no, there's this. So I guess I go to more, probably go down to, yeah, settings, meetings. Okay, here we go. Turn off marketing. Okay. Another pictures always show. For animated actions. Oh no, this must not be the right one. Uh oh, I might have to look it up. But tell her that use a fake email. I just used the meeting defaults. Troy, if you go on tomorrow morning or something like that, maybe you could do like if you don't mind doing like a quick video or something like that to show me how I can go in there and switch that so that, because I want it easier for people to be able to first come first serve, get clicked on to be the main content, even though I probably didn't make you that much of the main content. What else you got to say, Street? Anything?
When you put that link up, did you copy it from that green shield at the top left of the screen?
Oh God, I don't know.
On the top left of your screen,
Nah,
there's
it was at the bottom or something, I think.
well, the top left of the screen, if you click on that green little shield, it'll say copy link. You might have a different link in there that's asking people to do like set up for Zoom meeting or whatever. I don't know. I've never seen that pop up before. I don't know.
Well, we got somebody else in here. They could come in and have fun. Fun. Though they might want to have to come in on another day too, though, for sure. After this, Randy Rhodes, how are you
Yeah, it
doing
asked me
this
for my
evening?
fucking. It asked me for like emails, first, last name,
Oh my
size of my cock, fucking everything, man.
Oh my
I just,
Lanta. Yeah, you need to make me a short video if you don't mind. I'm asking
I,
graciously
I honestly
how
don't
to
know what you
switch.
did. I just, set up Zoom and I just have it do a meeting, like all the defaults. The only thing I did is steps that I emailed you. I enabled streaming. You got to do that on a custom server, and then I put in YouTube stuff when I go live. But I just leave all the defaults for a meeting. I just set a time and leave everything default. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have like hit it something or clicked something.
I leave all
I'm
the
not
defaults.
sure.
It uses a password by default, but the password
Yeah,
is in the link. Like the link
yeah.
that we post in YouTube has the password in it, but you don't care because like you're putting out the only reason why you would do that is there's a bunch of fucking like trolls. And there's a way to get out to search Zoom for open meetings. And
Uh-huh.
like you could just like town council meetings and stuff like that. You can just jump into their meeting, So people
Oh,
set
really?
passwords to avoid that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when somebody tries to get in, you have a waiting room, right?
Uh, yeah. I mean, weren't you just
Yeah.
waiting in it?
So when you look at him, you'll know who it is. If you don't trust them, don't let him in.
Oh, yeah. It pops up saying somebody's waiting.
Yeah, and you got to accept. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I do. Because if somebody comes in that I don't recognize, either I'll take a chance that might come on there naked, or because your stream might go down if somebody did that. But wow. Yeah, the only reason
So
why I'm saying that, obviously, you already know my email and my real name, so I don't care about that. But I'm just saying, if you want like people from your chat to come in, some of them are gonna like, oh shit, what's this? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just require that they already have a Zoom account, which obviously they might have entered fake information, but I don't really care.
Yeah, I'll have to go through and double check some of these things because, like, for one thing, I wouldn't mind just like a general background versus the black background. But I don't know. I like
So
this
Rob,
one.
Kiwis,
Rob,
can you
eight
hear me?
inches is not enough. 8 inches is not enough. It asked me, man. It almost said I was too big, so I had to like cut it down a little bit, fold it in half.
Call it circumcising.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ian. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I've never really got this going on the phone before. It's like making me push a button to speak and then done speaking, which I'm not used to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It says I'm in driving mode. Give me a minute here. I'm just listening, man. But hey, I did want to say though, I love your conversation about the mental health stuff. I was trying to get in earlier to kind of join in on that conversation because, I got like a buddy I talk to about, often about that. For years we've talked about it. And I'm really interested in your story personally, which it's probably the wrong place to talk about it, but I wanted to let you know that though. I'm very interested in someday kind of hearing your story. Maybe you've already told the community, but I've never heard it. And someday I want to hear it. That's all. Let me see I want to get out of this driving mode though. So I'll listen to you guys for a second, see if I can do it.
By the way,
Yeah.
Kiwi, what are your rules? Because I just started cursing and stuff and don't know what your rules are. If you want to tone it down, I'll try to tone it down. What are
No,
your rules?
the only thing I don't like is strong negativism and bullying. I mean, I try to keep it as a positive thing because I mean, for me, Talking Tuesdays is about mental health, and I said that right to my neighbor as he don't know what I'm doing, but he come over today, and he unloaded some heavy stuff, and that's mental heavy stuff that he unloaded. I mean,
Yeah, it's cool. I just want to make sure that
so
because
it's
I just want to know what your rules are. I don't know. I never been live on your channel, so
yeah.
I
I
mean, as
mean, so
far as
far there
cursing,
hasn't been any rules because I curse. I mean, that's just me.
so you just don't want drama, basically.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I who doesn't like drama every now and then? But I
All
mean,
right. Well, okay.
simple
I
drama.
guess you answered my question. How about this? Just tell us if we're going too far,
Oh yeah, I'll totally let somebody know
so
because
we can
I know how
discuss
you
it.
let me know.
Do you have the street orange cell commercials? Those are okay.
That commercial? Yeah, we don't. Whatever.
Brings the
I mean,
money
it's
in.
it's it's Talking Tuesdays. It's about life. I mean, in
Hey,
reality.
Rob. Hey, Rob. If you want to come in, you can enter any email you want. Enter like myhome@yourhouse.com, and it doesn't check it.
Yeah.
It's still obviously it's still used my account because it's got my picture on there. So
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be right
Randy
back.
will make me a video on which buttons to click and unclick.
Yeah, if I find out anything tomorrow morning, I'll let you know if I go live when I go live.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting, so I can make it easier for people to come in because the whole idea about Talking Tuesdays is mental health awareness, and hitting the beast straight in the face and stopping the stigma. Because
So you mean we're going to be discussing Biden?
I mean, that could happen because that causes a lot of mental health to people. I mean, look what happened when Trump won. That caused a lot of mental health problems for a lot of people. So I mean, all depending on which political aisle you're on, you're guaranteed
Liberal
mental health.
tears. Liberal tears. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I will say, since I stopped watching network news back about the same time I came across Forrest Fenn, I stopped watching, the morning news, nighttime news, and all that. I'm a healthier person because, I always knew I couldn't change it. And being aware of it would just stress me out. It's something I couldn't change, man. And it was always 25 minutes of despair and anguish and destruction, and then 5 minutes of, oh, we'll leave it with his happy note. Little Johnny found his lost puppy. Good night, everyone. It's like, man, you fed me death, despair, destruction for 25 minutes, and you leave me with that. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
like I said, I'm mentally healthier, not paying it to end. If something really nasty, I'm going to hear it. I walk to the store, my kids will say, hey, it's the end of the world. It's something someone will let me know. I don't need to worry about it. I can't change it.
And the wife says that a lot to me because, I mean, part of my daily routine is I try to catch up on something that's coming out of at least the White House, at least out of hearings up on the Capitol Hills or wherever they're happening within towns and cities,
Well, I'm
board
not a
meetings,
licensed
etc.
therapist,
Because neither am I.
but I would highly recommend, if anybody is in a state of depression, stop watching the news, man. Stop, especially nightly news, because that's the last you're going to see
That'll help.
before you go to bed.
That will definitely help. One of the things that my wife does is she likes
And
to watch
get rid of your
comedy.
cell phone.
Did you say get rid of your cell phone? Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no,
social media. I mean, so it went to both your guys' point. I mean, think about it. When they were politicking, they were driving around in vehicles with big megaphones, yelling out into farmlands and cities, trying to get their word out. And then all of a sudden you got lines, telephone lines, TV lines, your telecommunications, as it were. That changed the game, not only on how to get the word out, but what words you can get out. And then bam, here comes social media, hit you like a freight train and like 18 Mack trucks. Then information flying everywhere. True, false, maybe true. Who knows? Like 50 people agree with it, 50 people don't agree with it. I mean, because they figured out how to rule the roost by controlling that information and the flow of information. That's why it's a powerful tool, weapon. Yeah, crazy stuff.
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Waiting for mailman.
Yes.
So what? So which mail? Oh, okay. Waiting for mailman. Okay, clicking now. Waiting for mailman.
Yeah. How is everybody doing today?
Good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous on my Tuesday.
Nice. I seen that that clip that you put out or somebody put out of that trinket. Dude, that looks cool. What was the story behind that trinket besides it belonging to Fenn?
I really don't know at this point.
Because I for some reason I thought I heard something about somebody saying it belonged to a church or something like that, or part of a church. I could be wrong, most likely. Wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, sometimes life throws curveballs at us all, and sometimes it takes longer to do things that we intend to do. I for one, I got 3 winners already for the coin giveaways, and I sent out the first one, but not all of it. started making up packages for the rest of them, and so I still got my 2 plus the first one I got to send out. So I'm late on putting stuff out too. So I got to raise my hand on that one.
Well,
By the way,
I don't want to be a dark cloud here, Rob, but I did file a copyright infringement lawsuit against you, man, for copying that. You will be getting notified soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I'll just wait for the mailman so I can tell him.
Keep looking out that window.
By the way, I forgot to say hi. Hi, A Street. Hey, Rob. Hey, Ian. Hey, Kiwi.
Hello.
You see, I noticed you guys do that like that courtesy thing. Me, I get lost. I got like a 1-track mind. Everybody knows it's short, engine and caboose, real easy to get lost, but real easy to control. And it's like I tend to forget my manners and stuff like that. And it's like that's why I come out like at the beginning and be like, I'm trying to say hi. I don't want people to think I'm not missing them or ignoring them. But there's just so much going on that you start getting off track. Next thing you know, you're going in la la land. It's crazy stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I hopped on the train a little bit late.
Say that again. You're training late.
No, I said I hopped in your train late today. I was a little bit busy.
Oh. Yeah, well, to tell you honestly, I'm surprised there's that many people even on this train ride. Usually there's only like a half a dozen to a dozen on the train. So I wonder how many people are on top of the roof. I mean, we could go on roof subjects, talking metaphysical stuff. I was gonna draw something on the whiteboard right before I started the show, and I forgot what I was gonna draw because it was important. Because I mean, it just maybe I just start drawing ups and down, waves and stuff. But yeah, no, talking Tuesdays, yeah, it's mental health. It's letting people know that they're not alone. Not well, they can come along for the journey of my mental health and growth and learning, to let them know that they're not alone in these types of things, and it's just reality, But yeah, other than that, try to carry some of that Forrest Fenn in there, and that was the thing I'm trying to do like the first come first serve person in, and then I'll ask them these set of questions, and then I think I might do something like this, open it up at the end for people to kind of go over what they thought of the questions for Street, or any other questions that they might have for him as far as like how he might have dealt with some of the things he went through, or etc. Or for anybody that's out here now.
Well, to quickly allude back what I was saying before about our past in life, everything I've come across in my thrill of the chase, I was prepared for it mentally. I was prepared for it because of the path I had walked previous to that.
So you had a leg up.
Well, I think we all do. I mean, us right now, we're here because of our past experiences, our past path, and it prepares us for this moment and further. And this moment is preparing us for the next,
Yeah.
Put your foot down and step on it.
Depends on how fast you want to get there or not. And I've learned to change that mindset from just taking my time and enjoying the ride now. It's a lot less complicated, less confusing, a little bit simpler. Because I mean, it's the way we treat each other, the lasting memory we'll have in each other. Whether we had something good to eat together or drink together, we'll have a common, listening to a good song, a common core, common denominator between everybody.
Well, in this stage in my life, 60, I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. I'm not. And it's taken so much stress because I was hurrying to get get ahead. I was always hurrying to get ahead, always ahead of everything. Now I'm very patient now. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere.
I like that. Not in a hurry to get anywhere. Yeah, you notice I've been writing things down. This is the chapter of street.
Well, it kind of actually, when I made that realization, and it was an age thing. What if I'm not? Then that must mean I'm comfortable. I'm beginning to be comfortable where I'm at. If I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere besides where I'm at, I have to be. That must mean age-wise, I become comfortable. And it took me, 50, 60 years to do that.
I went to a men's retreat. So had a situation go on, had to do community service, went to community service and went and volunteered at the kitchen at the shelter in town. Did a weekend retreat with one of the guys there, and the speaker said something to me that stuck to me. And this is a thing in which Talking Tuesdays is what I'm trying to boil it down to. Is there's things that people say that stick out. I mean, phrases that you'll say that I'm writing down, etc. People that other people will share and say, whether they be the same or likewise or whatever. But the preacher or the coach says, I when we get out on the baseball field, I figure out who's comfortable in what positions, and I figure out who's not comfortable. And then I take those not comfortable people and I put them into those positions where they're not comfortable. Because the only way that they're going to get comfortable is they have to go through that trial and tribulation in order to feel comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. That way, when they are faced with that uncomfortable situation, they'd have that more comfort and knowledge to deal with what's coming. And it just stuck with me. It's like, man, it makes sense, and it goes with what you're saying. Yeah.
On that exact note, I'm just going to interject really quickly. So you brought up kind of baseball. I'm a ski coach, so I teach pretty much anyone how to alpine ski. And one of the best ways to help a person find their balance in skiing is to put them out of balance. So one thing we do is we unbuckle the ski boots. So they're really loose, like they could almost step out of it. And then you send them down a hill and you have them ski. Yeah. But then after a run or two, go ahead, ask your question. My internet lags.
No. I was just gonna say that makes sense because you're not just putting them in. You're not setting them down saying, well, you could have the potential that your ski gets loose and come off, but you're actually putting them in that position so that they have to get comfortable in case the ski comes off. I mean, that awesome. Continue, please.
Well, yeah. No, I will just, it's really quick, but like, you go down a couple runs with these people and they're completely off balance. They think I'm joking. They doubt themselves. They doubt me. But then you get down halfway on another run and you say, all right, now buckle your boots. And all of a sudden they feel in balance, cemented to that ski. They're like locked into the ground. They love life. And but they'll never do it themselves. It's something you almost, I always call it, it's kind of like you're guiding them into their own discovery. And it's beautiful, man. And what you just said, it's a great analogy, I guess, is what I'd put it.
I like what you just said, guiding into.
Yeah, I mean, it's
new. It's new control discovery.
Sure, I mean, it's like a lot of old salesmen know it. You're not trying to push something on someone. You kind of like pull. you're trying to pull information from them. You're trying to not necessarily yell at a person and say you're wrong, you're doing it wrong. Here's how you do it. You guide them to discover it themselves. And that's where they really learn, is where they learn for themselves. I feel like it's deeper rooted if it's within themselves versus, kind of like the analogy, or what was the old saying, like, give a man a fish, you only feed him for the day. You
Yep.
teach him to
man.
fish.
Yep.
It's a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyways, hey, I'll let you keep going, man. I love hearing you. Thanks.
No worries. I mean, it kind of think of it like this: is the thrill of the chase was that parable to give me a fish, but it also taught me a fish, or how to fish in a sense, or how to be a better fisherman, I guess. So that would, it kind of brings out Talking Tuesdays is, how do we learn something and then carry that in a teaching way, but not necessarily through me, but through other people and other YouTubers and other searchers and other family members of YouTube searchers or acquaintances or co-workers. Because the thrill of the chase and the chest was only for a selected few, but mental health is for everybody. And when you can see life in a different way versus other ways. There's all kinds of different ways to see life, but it takes a village to raise a village. And nowadays, I see a lot of society, and especially with the government and the school education, how the generations, seriously, like waves, ebbs and flows. I mean, you can see generations were up at some point. Now you can see it just kind of going down in a sense. And it's
you gotta have somebody that's willing to accept the change and willing to listen to you. I see it like kind of like drug problems. If somebody has a drug problem and they're not interested in being helped, you ain't gonna help them.
right.
It's just a fact of life. I mean, I've been through that. Not me personally. I was never on drugs, but I know people that are. And you just can't. I mean, they got to reach the bottom by themselves and experience. They got to reach out for help. If they don't reach out, the same thing in the chase. There's some people that clearly have problems, but they don't want help. They're not going to seek it. They're not going to come on. They don't care. So really, it's a family member or close friends that would need to help them out, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, you can try all you want, but they're not going to listen to you. What do you think?
Right. And I totally agree. But that's the beauty of, in the manner in which this is being done, is if people see this channel and they see how it's growing and the direction it's going, if it's a positive thing, the word will get out. And maybe somebody who thought, or maybe not have thought, they may or may not want to listen or anything. Who knows? Who knows? And maybe it don't ever help anybody. But I know that, but by me creating this and me doing this and just trying to connect in a small way, because I don't want to carry everybody's burdens, and nobody wants to carry everybody else's burdens. They have enough of their own. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of compassion, a little bit of creative, constructive criticism, because I mean, it's a positive, negative thing,
Like Amy Gwen just said in chat, have some family members that don't listen either. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been there, seen it. I mean, they will rob you from your house. They will steal from you, do all kinds of nasty things when people get really. Well, that's a drug problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think a drug problem is also the same kind of an issue that you're having, because people get depressed and they turn to alcohol and turn to drugs.
Yeah, right? And that's the thing, is they might not there's things that happen that lead up to and cause that depression to come on. Now, not all of them and everyone, there's chemical imbalances and stuff like that. I know that, but it's like the more I see out there, it does. It seems like there's a pattern that leads up. There's something that happens. Usually it's young. And unfortunately, that's the vulnerable, impressionable age where a lot of things happen to a lot of young people. And people either repress it, regress it, or try to hide it, or don't share it. They hold on to it for the rest of their lives. They got all this guilt, shame, hate, anger, frustration. They can't trust people. They can't love people. They can't even confide in people. And these are just things that just build up on people, you know. And what's a few words or a few seconds that we each could say that I've seen like just the other day somebody came into somebody else's channel that was having a real bad day. You could hear it in their voice. You could tell they were distraught, and you could see people reaching out and just giving simple words to make a difference in that person's life. And those are the things that shine. And if this channel can kind of do some of that stuff, then that's thanks to you guys, because you guys kind of helped form that foundation in a sense. I mean, bits and pieces of every YouTuber out there that I've seen and Facebook page has a hand in part in creation of what is now today's Talking Tuesdays, for the rest of my life. I mean, life goes on. The world keeps spinning. We're all going to have ups and downs. Why not share it with somebody who might have been in there or might not, might have a different perspective to share that might help me or not, or vice versa, and a lot of yammering that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just words coming out. I get lost in
Kiwi.
thought. Yes.
Hey, yeah, you're lost in thoughts. Pretty cool though. In fact, I think I even derailed our conversation back, 20 minutes ago, but just by forgetting what we were talking about. But I do want to say though that, like I said about you, I want to hear your story sometime, and it's maybe not live or something, but like you say though, some of the weirdest stuff can happen to us when we're younger and cause kind of trauma to affect you later. And just to throw it back into a little bit of Forrest Fenn, my introduction to Fenn came at the weirdest time of my life, and it's hard, and without telling you the entire story, there was a lot of trauma when I grew up, and it, eventually it leads you somewhere though. And if that's the hardest part, is whether you can appreciate where you get or not. And so my part was, one of the family members kind of just brought up a comment about the Fenn hunt. But the weirdest thing was that I was in a moment where I was trying to kind of make up for my past, or I was trying to say, I had been down this really shitty road and I want to prevent other people from going down it. And so that was kind of my dream, was to help save people and to help do that. And so in that moment, when I had finally got to that point, someone mentioned about the Fenn hunt, and it totally distracted me. But from that point, I went on this amazing treasure hunt. So I guess, lost in thought, I'm with you, because I feel like the trauma or the things we all experience can bring you to these places. We don't, and it's way better when we're all together, like when friends or family, and family can lead you in so many great ways too. But
Yep.
This is why I got on here tonight, was just to say, like, the trauma, I think we should all be able to express and talk about. It might take a while, but I do think that all of us have something that
Oh
has,
yeah.
derailed us, but it's all about how we appreciate it or not.
Um, So the lost in thought thing, that's Street's thing, because he's
Street
always lost in
thing.
thought, and the land's not an issue, so he's just always lost.
Yeah.
My train.
Street has a trademark on that phrase. Every time you say it, you got to pay him.
Yeah, I know.
Cha-ching.
I couldn't use it.
Yeah. And remember, you guys used to say that every time you'd say Jack, you had to pay $1 to someone, but that all faded out, huh?
No, only one person paid Street $1. Well, then Street, you sent it back.
Yeah, Davy B from Australia, man, put $1 in the swear. He called it the swear jar, man. Back in the day, I never paid attention. This was like a year ago, and I got a notification saying, "Hey, you got this money waiting for acceptance, and it's not good," And I was like, "Money? What?" And I forgot about PayPal. I looked down. It's like Davy B sent me $1. I was like, "God damn, man!" I accepted it. Thank you, Davy B. I appreciate it, man.
For PayPal,
That's character.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. You were saying?
Don't they get a percentage of that dollar somehow? PayPal, they get like maybe 3 cents.
They probably got like 30 cents. But yeah, no, that shows character when somebody sits there and says, they'll make a bet or something like that. I mean, that's one of the things Forrest Fenn teaches is, your name and who you are, what you say and what you do. That is you. That's your legacy. That's what you have to leave yourself and leave for other people. Now you could be a good example or you could be a bad example. I mean, that's our own choices to make. Kind of sad. I see other YouTubers out there trying to make bad examples for whatever kind of reason, but I see other YouTubers out there making good examples for whatever reason, and that's why I call it the chase marketplace. But yeah, no, I'm just always like lost in thought because there's so many thoughts going on. It's hard to keep track of them all.
There you go again, lost in thought.
It's just shit. I
Well,
need to Venmo you. I'll have my wife set up Venmo for you. Just get with Trusted, the financier of CAD. Is that right? Let him figure it out.
Yeah, I can't get a hold of them. It said that the number been disconnected.
Oh my Lanta. Do we have to go to snail mail? I'm not writing a letter. We'll get a hold of them. We'll get a hold later on. Have them set something up. Direct deposit withdrawal going over there. I'll just like do a simple line. Lost in many thoughts.
You don't have to, but since you mentioned it on your live stream, I will hit you with a copyright infringement lawsuit.
I'm still waiting for mine.
Well, I don't have to remind you. You do know where the legal department is, right? Don't drop the paperwork off yourself. I mind you. Please have somebody else do it because we like having you on board the train. Oh my Lord. Okay. But yeah, traumas are definitely very strong things that tie people together.
But it could happen at any age. It don't have to be being young. It could happen right in the middle of your life at your prime. It could happen anytime. It's not just a young type thing.
Right. Well, so yes, trauma can happen at absolutely any point in time in your life. But the most vulnerable ones, I think, happen at the younger ages of people on a general that are, building blocks to things that happen in their life. Now, as I got older, learning to understand some of my trauma and the actions that were involved. It took a while to retrain my brain to understand the difference between my perception of life, the perception of life growing up in my home, church, school, and then you get out into the real world and the reality of what life really is. And there's a lot of ways families, grow up and train or teach. Everybody ultimately wants to keep their youngins safe. Uh, the worst part, I think, is some of these traumas happen from the people who we trust the most, which
I
makes
do.
it even.
Yes, yes. I think when you hang on to somebody that you do trust, a friend, a family member, anybody, and you lose that trust after so many decades, and you're
Yeah.
like, what had changed within the decades of how the other person is thinking,
Yeah. And
I'm here. Was somebody looking for me?
yeah.
Oh, man, oh, you ain't the truth,
Sorry, I
man.
don't have anything for you.
Oh, oh, it's empty.
Don't say it's in the mail because unless you put it in the mail.
Man, it was empty 5 months ago. I'll come back probably about Christmas.
Peggy was looking for me, standing out there. It's just got done watching the Indians chasing the chickens around.
Oh,
But because like 3 days to sunrise is one of my traumas, but I mean there was other things that happen that kick up, and I mean for me, my depression my depression started when I was young. And I didn't even know it was depression until I got into service, and then they're diagnosing me with major depressive disorder. It's like, oh well, it kind of makes sense. No wonder why I was always home sleeping in my bed. Didn't want to do nothing.
And Jesus Christ, Redneck Express. Holy crap. My mom accidentally backed over me with the 70s land yacht station wagon when I was 6 years old. I got pinned underneath.
Oh
Jesus,
wow.
man.
wow.
Well, I got to throw in a little humor. You sure it was an accident, redneck?
You sure they didn't sit there and say, "Hey, check the tire pressure for me real quick"?
Check the reverse
But
lights.
no, seriously though, hey, I'm glad that you
How's my
are
brake lights?
obviously safe and
How's the
healthy.
brake lights?
Man, that would definitely. That's now. There's definitely those. Now that's like a life. So there's life traumas, right? But I think some of the hardest, impactful ones are the life and death traumas, because in life traumas, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and hopefully there's an end. Hopefully positive end. But when you're having life and death uh, trauma situations like that, being pinned in the car, that's like a life and death trauma. The car don't get moved fast enough. The weight changes by that much. It crushes more bones or something. I mean, people say life flashes through their eyes, but there's at points in times when you're close to life and death traumas when your brain starts wandering and thinking. That I think those make like I said, the strongest connections, and I think sharing those ones is, in a sense, for me, it's healing because it's recognizing I'm human, that uh, I too think, uh, and I too at times have felt why exist with this pain. Why exist if you feel that nobody's recognizing you as a person, whether it be your talents or something you said funny earlier or something. Nobody noticed my joke, but it's stuff that it's healing. Keeping stuff bottled in is like a soda can. You get shaken one too many times, something's bound to break. You know what I mean? Something's bound to break. And if you can just release just a little bit, open up that tap valve, open up your voice, let some of them emotions and them thoughts come out and hear it and be able to say, well, damn, I'm glad I didn't sit there and take that steering wheel and just kind of, go off to that side, because what would that change? What would that do? Uh, One of the things that I paid attention to, when I said something like that to my father, he's like, "That's one of the dumbest things you could say, son. Because what if it doesn't happen all the way you want it, and now you're stuck in a wheelchair and messed up for the rest of your life?" And it's like, the different meaning, it changes things. But I think the most important part of it is, in order to grow past our life traumas, whether it had been something that happened yesterday, unfortunately, a year ago, um, and I'm talking to somebody else out there, um,
Oh,
myself a year ago, but not for me, but for another family friend, or younger life, 20 years ago, high school life, your childhood, is learning to recognize what the trauma is, recognize the bad part, and say, okay, yeah, it was bad. It was this, that. But what are the positive things that I can try to learn and apply so that I myself don't cause that type of trauma to somebody else? Or how can I apply that and learn to watch out for that type of trauma to help prevent somebody else from having it? Which brings back Talking Tuesdays.
Kiwi,
Yeah, what's up?
Kiwi, that's right, dude. That's exactly what I was just saying. Plus, if you can look back on it, which is really hard to do in a positive way, look back on it.
Yep, yep.
Uh,
Because there's so many triggers that
you
come
can
up.
always find some good. Yeah, well, I'm just going to give you a quick example. Throughout my trauma, I got to learn how people in jail light joints without a lighter.
Okay, I'm
Now think
listening.
about it.
You're
Yeah, no, no.
gonna share that or
It took
what?
me.
I mean, that's useful
No,
information.
I don't know if I'm allowed to tell, but anyways, some
Damn it.
people can. It has to do with a light switch, and a couple staples and things. But my point, though, was
That would
really
make
more.
sense.
If you look back on it, and you got it. It's hard to do, and I'm still doing it every day. But if you can look back on certain moments and try to turn them positive, that's great. Learn from them, right? Now, but I also
Yep.
just really quickly wanted to mention also that we all read Forrest Fenn's book, and every one of us related to him somehow, some way in one of those
Yep.
stories.
Yep.
Otherwise, you deserve that next turn. But think he had trauma too. And I
Oh
think the
yeah.
main point that he was making was my war for me was about trauma, or I think that was ultimately the trauma that led him to disclose to us all his deepest thoughts, where all the lines converge. And so I think that was his way of expressing to us his emotions and saying, of course he named his treasure indulgence, and of course he filled it with gold, and of course he, like even Street was saying, it's like you can get lost in thought on this, and that's the point. No matter how we all look at this, as long as you read that memoir, you're going to relate to a person, you're going to hear their story, and hopefully through their trauma, we're going to look back on it and find some way to relate and kind of think positively about it or our trauma. And so I think I just wanted to mainly say, though, that along with all of us or whoever else is even agreeing or relating, Forrest Fenn had trauma. And I think that was a key part of that memoir was his trauma. Ian out.
Yeah, and to help hit that to the fact is on page 100 and oh god, nope, not 100. It's just page 82. Um, Forrest is talking about how they're going through like a valley or some sort, and he's got a fighter behind him, and he's ahead. He passes a crowd on the ground, radios it into the guy behind him. The guy lets loose his ammunition. Forrest apparently must make a turnaround and come back, and he sees what's happening on the ground. In the third paragraph, well, I guess first, second, third paragraph down, I was so ashamed. I started crying in my oxygen mask, sobbing. I could hardly see through the dark visor on my helmet, and the salty tears burned my eyes in a way I had never known for a long time. Suddenly, I hated Lyndon Johnson and Robert McNamara and all of the other politicians who were sitting in their fat offices at home, totally oblivious to what war was really like. Because he noticed that they were gunning down civilians, kids, families, for a war in another country, for freedom and peace in a different country, or that country, both countries. I mean, had and I think Forrest totally would not have called it in had he had better visual, better idea, better sense of what was going on. I don't think he definitely would not have called in that strike behind them. But war is war, and I hate to say it, unfortunately, you never know your enemy. And unfortunately, women, children, and men are all three hopefully not combatants, but they're combatants. I mean, one civilization is attacking another civilization. It would be hue of one civilization to use any and all personnel to help defend and protect um, against an attacker, And so, I mean, that's why there was a lot in the wars. You have a lot of kids, suicide bombers, etc. And that's the sad part in reality of war. And that's why one of the biggest things that, like, in a sense, I carry from functional at junction from listening to somebody's wife say that when people are sitting over here and they have these, I hate to say tit for tats or little arguments or frustrations with the chase and this and that between people. I mean, that's trivial to what other people are really going through. But that's not to downgrade anybody's, emotional or mental distress that they've gotten through the thrill of the chase before, after, during, or because of, or whatever. But to see some of oh God, I'm always lack of better words. It's just hard to see some of this negative stuff that goes out,
I don't want to throw a monkey wrench into everything, but it's not a devil's advocate, I guess, but probably not. There is a danger, though, to doing what you're talking about. I think personally, if somebody wants to reach out, they need to do it with like a group that's dedicated to that, like a group of peers, or do it with a doctor. I think it's a huge mistake to do something like that in the thrill of the chase. And we've seen it. I'm not going to give examples, but we've seen what can happen. There's a lot of trolls out there, and they're mostly here to hear the chase information stuff. And when somebody like kind of dumps their feelings out, there's going to be a lot. You better have thick skin because there's a lot of trolls out there that are going to take care of.
Oh yeah,
and you can't. I mean, this is going to sound bad, but you can't really blame them for it because this is not the place and time to be airing your personal business.
No, not at all.
Never,
right.
ever put out personal business on the internet to anybody unless they're really close friends and family. That's a huge mistake.
Yep, especially right now in the chase. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll know. People know you're vulnerable. They'll detect that, and they'll go after you. And it's not the place to reach out for help either. This is not a support group. It's a special interest group for the chase. It's you treading. I don't mean you, Kiwi. All I'm saying is people that do that. It's the wrong thing. Like if somebody came in and poured their heart out that they were alcoholic, that's fine. We would side with them and try to help and say, you should go seek help. But they shouldn't show up here every week and keep talking about it because that would be a bad setting.
No. That's why, like one of the things is is a one person at a time thing. You know what I mean? Like today it was street. The other day it was one person. Is I've thought about that. You know, I have thought about that, and it's yeah. I'm not a counselor, and I'm not trying to save everybody. The only person I'm trying to save is myself. And the way I'm saving myself is I'm creating a digital diary that's recorded on YouTube and Zoom of people who are willing to enlighten me, or maybe I can give some information that might enlighten somebody else.
Yeah,
But
and
on the
giving
long term,
information is fine. All I'm saying is that I will be careful in this day and age, because if somebody construes that as if you're like giving out like psychological advice or life, and they really do have a problem, and they don't go to a doctor and seek real help, and then something happens to them, I wouldn't I wouldn't want to see that happening. So I would
yeah.
try to help them to cut it off.
Well,
I wouldn't want them to repeatedly come on and discuss their problem. I think that's
right,
a mistake.
right,
I
right.
agree.
No, and I totally agree with that. I mean, that's why you know, share a little bit, care a little bit. And I'm not looking to dig into anybody's personal life, but I know that we all have a little bit of trauma, a little bit of depression, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And sometimes it takes a little bit to just talk a little bit to feel a little bit better. And not too many people know where to go, how to go, or who to see. And um, like I said, it's yeah, I'm not out there to be a counselor. I'm not a counselor. I'm not anybody's counselor. I can't even counsel myself, let alone a bird. But you know, on a short term, small term, little bits, I hope, is good enough. And I would like to think I have thick skin now, knowing what I've learned and what I've been through. I mean, when I guess you got thick skin when you're getting stomped in the head and chest and back and stuff, right? That's thick skin.
Well,
No,
that's
that's
physical.
a whole different
Yeah,
story.
that's not mental. That's physical.
No, that's true. But I'm saying the difference is you're giving. You would be talking about yourself, which is perfect. A lot of people, they do that. They make like a personal blog and they describe their life. That's fine, because that's
Yeah,
them personally making that choice. I'm talking about like from a role of trying to help. Like I'm not going to mention somebody's name, but somebody I blocked them because they came onto mine and they started leaving. Well, you don't know if she's mentally ill, and I don't want to get involved in that shit, because
right.
it's not my place to know that. That's not what my
Yes,
forum is about, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to take responsibility for what
right.
somebody might do. Because some of them people are really off their rocker, and like I'm saying, that leads to people getting like somebody parking out in front of their house, or calling, or stalking other people's children.
Or
It can be
you
really
know,
sick, and it's not our job, it's not our forum to sit and try to find people like that and help them. I would never want to do that. If they reached out to me, I would be glad to help and offer a
yeah, like
suggestion.
a
But
one-on-one.
I don't want to get involved in that game, because that's dangerous. Because then you know what I mean? Because I could see what they were trying to do, and that's
Yeah,
why I nipped it in the bud. They're trying, don't pick on her. That she's something's wrong with her. Oh, well, that's too bad. Then get off the fucking internet. This is not a forum, my channel anyway, to discuss that. I don't know
yeah.
any of that shit. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be. I'm not a
You know what you
counselor.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into when you get into any kind of media. Okay, you know what you're getting into. You're seeing it, you're learning it, you're studying it, you become it. I mean, this is in our children's minds. This is in the parents' minds, and now the parents are intrigued because their kids are doing it, and their kids are 10 times smarter than what the parents are.
That's crazy. Nope. Yep. That's why I like the whole premise is I created Kiwis Road to uh while I was in the mental hospital for the weekend, trying to get medication figured out and whatnot. And it's a journey to find um happiness and purpose in life, meaning in life, and learning to cope with depression and suicide and mental health. that's what Kiwis Road is. I mean, by design, that's how it got created. Its sole purpose. I mean, if somebody were to go onto my about page, they would read that as what this whole purpose of Kiwis Road is. Now, Forrest Fenn just happened to pop in as part of it, and it was, part of the venue in which to learn more about the thrill of the chase. But ultimately, it's a digital diary of me trying to figure out how to heal myself in a sense, in a positive way. And if it helps somebody, then great. And if it doesn't, well, okay. And if somebody happens to come on and help give some information because they had a tough time and they're willing to share that tough time and how they overcome it and what they use to help them carry on every day, I'm going to accept that. You know what I mean? And I totally agree, but I'm not a counselor and I'm not here to sit here and listen to everybody's everyday life in situations. But I don't mind listening either for a few minutes either. And it's a line that I'm definitely gonna pay attention to, and I know you'll definitely help keep that in perspective, because I got a feeling you'll sit there and say something to me like you ought to be wary of that or something like that. I got a feeling, But for all intents and purposes, that's the design of Kiwis Road, dealing with mental health, trying to, because my wife sent me a text saying, I wish you would learn to figure out your medications and learn to love me again sometime soon. Okay, what the fuck?
What do
okay,
you want me to do with that, man? Holy shit! Okay.
I'm on a bunch of medications for a bunch of things, and I quit smoking. That was messing me up, and I had I was on the Valium for quite a while. I quit that, and it's just personality. People, you change. Medications change people. I mean, some for better, some for worse. Hopefully, some for better or more for better. But I mean, yeah, when I received that text, that's why words matter, and sometimes what you say and how you say it matters too. But when I received that, it was like, fuck, seriously? I mean, I thought I was trying to do enough to show you I love you now. Then you gotta sit there and text me, say, oh, well, check your meds and figure out what love is, and then maybe you can love me again. It's like, oh God, do I even really know what love is? Do I know what happiness is? Well, if I don't know what this is, how can I provide it to my significant other? I said, go into the hospital and come up with YouTube, and it's a journey now.
Yeah, Kiwi, I just want to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that what you're doing is bad, but I'm saying
Be
all right.
cautious.
I'll give you an example, right? That kid that recently shot up that school, right? First thing they did is go to social media and track that person down. And the first thing the news was mentioning is, well, all that people that were talking to that person in that social media group, why didn't they notify the authorities? And why didn't they do this? And why did they do that? So it's a dangerous area to get in. I'm only talking about helping other people. Like, I think what you're doing is great because you're describing your story from your perspective and you're giving people ideas. But I would seriously put some kind of a disclaimer up or something if somebody came in, because I think that's dangerous. If they came in and they talked to you and then you told them, well, you give them some advice, then the next day something bad happens, right? Then you're dragged into it.
Yeah, and because I have that disclaimer, I'm not sure if you read it, but I need to tweak it a little bit. But I'm definitely going to add that not responsible disclaimer.
Yeah, because anybody could come in here and be like, oh, I came in, I talked to this guy, and he helped me out, and a day later, you find out something happens.
Right. Oh, and then they found out, well, it wasn't a mental issue. It might have been a drug issue, and the person stopped taking their drugs. And then, I mean, it's a scary thing. By the way, hey, Sensi. Hey, Master.
Oh, that's I like him.
Yeah. No, but please don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said, what you're doing is very honorable, and it takes a lot of guts to say a lot of the things that you're saying. I'm just saying, like for people that called in, if they had a problem, I would just cut them off and say, I would suggest that you don't talk to a family member, talk to a doctor, whatever, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor. And make it really clear because there's a lot of fucking crazy people out there in the chase too. And I think you're a nice guy. You have a lot of good intentions. I hate to see somebody put you in that kind of. All right, I mean, look what's happening with Candy. Right? I mean,
Yes,
getting
yes,
falsely
yes.
accused of somebody killing themselves. You don't. I mean, that's fucked up. That somebody's accusing her for that. As much as I don't
Yes.
like what she does, and I don't want to see the same thing happen
Right.
to you. I know you're smarter than that.
Yeah.
But please understand, I'm not being
Oh
negative.
no. No, you're bringing very good points and a very good perspective, which is that's the whole point of this whole thing, Then especially the after party thing here is to tweaks here and there, because it's helpful. And we'll probably forget to add that disclaimer. I'm gonna try to remember to add that disclaimer. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because look at it.
I
Already
would.
happened.
The whole point is, I would hope that somebody watches this would do something positive.
Yeah.
The
but
effect that somebody watching this and doing something negative, well,
you gotta see it both ways.
I'm not in charge of people making their own damn decisions. And if they
Oh,
want to
see-
blame other people for making their own damn decisions, they can try. But it won't happen with me because I will defend myself and be like, look, that person has a brain. That person made the decision themselves.
It's
I
like
mean,
it's like the
you know what I mean?
Origel thing, right? The Origel thing. We were
I
talking
know.
about it, and you misused it and put it in your fucking ear. Now you got an ear problem, right? So,
Well, I have no problem giving people things that I've come across in my 60 years on the planet as advice. They can take it or leave it. This is what worked for
Yeah.
me. This is what I experienced. This is what I found helped me get out of that or learn from it to never do it again. I have no problem doing that. And I don't, if someone wants to sue me for that, wow, man, I'm giving my opinions.
Right.
You know,
no,
Right.
no,
And
but
that's
yeah,
all
no,
it
no,
is.
no,
And
no,
that's like, go ahead.
but wait a
No,
minute.
no.
What I'm saying is, street, you're not making
Hey,
a
will you get
channel.
milk though?
You're not making a channel around helping people. That you know what I mean? Like we give advice all the time during our show. But if he's going to set up something that's dedicated to like suicide prevention and all that, people, that means he's dedicating a show to that. All the topic will always be around that. You don't do that.
actually, Troy, my channel is about helping people, honestly, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's not. I mean, he can do whatever I want. You got to understand what I'm saying, though, because
Yeah.
it's not an opinion. If anything serious happened, they will drag the
Especially
the
with
person, yeah.
alcohol being so big today. Yeah, this is a big topic to deal with. Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why it's just so serendipitously that, like, the creation of this channel and everything's happening the way it's happening and the way it's rolling out and when it's rolling out.
Just put a disclaimer
'cause
right
I-
up at the get. Put a disclaimer right for the get-go. I'm not a professional. This is advice. If you're experiencing severe, give like links here. Here's a phone
911
call.
or 988.
Yeah.
And that's in that disclaimer, or was supposed to be part of that disclaimer that, as you guys come and click on.
Yeah, I read it.
I need
Yeah,
to add and readjust it to your guys' wordings a little bit
Yeah,
better.
Yeah, I just was,
it's a sue legal community. I mean, world,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
I was thinking about Heather Dawn because it happened in the chase. You know what I mean? And people were
Yeah.
accused of things like that. So we have a real example, and that's just in the chase community, and that had
Yeah.
nothing to do with a channel. There was no channel dedicated to that type of a topic. And she was just in a treasure hunting community. So the chances of somebody in a treasure hunting community being dragged in are probably pretty low, unless she went there and made a threat, But if it's like a site dedicated to suicide prevention or mental issues, that somebody can make a claim. Well, I was there getting advice. They couldn't make that claim.
They were there getting an opinion on how I was dealing with my suicide, my mental health, my depression.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate because
No, I appreciate it.
I seen it
It's
happen.
good
How they're
stuff.
doing, you know. I mean,
I know.
It,
So that's
it,
what I'll be doing this work is adding that and fixing it.
it doesn't even matter if it's Forrest Fenn related. Somebody might just go on just to go on yours. You know, so it's not a Finn thing. It's worldwide. You know,
Right, and that's, you know, hopefully the outreach is to all it is giving my opinion, you're giving your opinion, you're giving your opinion, you're giving your opinion on how you made your life better from a negative situation. And I hope people would take that for what it is, for face value. And somebody who would sit there and try to turn that around and use that against people, I feel sorry for those people, especially if they were to try to do that to me or people that I know, because it's character speaking. Um, and I don't understand. I mean, well, they crucified Jesus Christ for trying to help people. So, I mean, it is what it is. But the faith and trust that we learn in our beliefs as we get older and learn stuff, that if I were to outweigh the benefits and costs, and not even knowing the benefits and costs right now, I would still probably continue to do what I'm doing, because it's a strong feeling and a strong belief, uh, in a sense. But yeah, no, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor, and I give no advice, no legal advice, no nothing. And these are all just opinions and our thoughts.
yeah, if more people did what you did, it would be a better place for sure. I mean, I totally, like I said, it's commendable what you're trying to do, and yeah,
Well,
a lot of people giving a lot of different opinions gives the listeners options that they might want to consider. You know, I mean, I totally
yep.
agree with all of that. I'm just saying, because of what happened with Heather Dawn and just the world we're in, you know, there's going to be, I mean, well, I mean, it's the same reason why all the lawyers put up disclaimers. Because if you went out and like you were a layman and you start giving legal advice, and then somebody goes and takes it, and then they get in trouble, they do something, and they say, "Well, this guy online told me it's okay to do it." You know, the news would eat that shit up, and they would blame you. We obviously you would say, "Hey, I have a disclaimer. It's not my fault," you know. But it's just a big annoyance. It's a crazy
Yeah.
fucking world, man.
Kiwi,
Crazy.
It's an unnecessary hassle, is what it is.
Yeah.
Kiwi.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to interrupt really quick and just say thanks. I like what you guys are talking about, though, keeping both sides of it, thinking about both sides. I agree with it all. It's great, good, deep thought. But I did just want to say thank you, opening up and kind of getting us all into this conversation. And I know I'll see you guys soon, or hopefully chat with you guys soon. So again, I just thank you, and I hope all of you have a great evening, and we connect again soon.
Not
You
a
too. Have
problem.
a good
And,
day.
Later, Ann.
man.
yeah.
Thanks,
Enjoy your
guys.
evening.
Thanks,
And then
Thank you. You too as well.
who knows? Maybe next time you'll be able to chime in and hit that Zoom link button first and be third in the book come next Tuesday.
Okay. You know, I'm so bad at this digital stuff. I'm figuring it out.
So ain't I.
Slowly. All right. Well, you guys have a great evening. We'll talk soon.
Yep. Enjoy your evening. But yeah. What else? What else we got? Yeah, I like it. You know, I'll definitely have to add those things in.
Yeah, I
For
did.
sure.
Yeah, Amy, he's a nice guy, man. He's a nice guy. Like I said, I think he's Cheap Girl Jody's friend. He showed us solved and something to do with Breckenridge, Colorado. And he
Oh,
found a lot
really?
of connection of Breaking Breckenridge book. He found a lot of connections. It was interesting. Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yeah.
I look forward to asking some Chase-topia questions then. Marketplace stuff.
Everybody has a good, interesting story, you know?
Yep, and that's the thing. Everybody's got a story to share, good or bad. It doesn't matter. It's still a story to share, And I figured, I kind of like the way this went. I mean, so far it's almost 10. I don't know how it got that. Like 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. That's 3 hours. Holy Toledo! But I mean, I like the
Goes
way.
quick.
You got
Time
up.
goes quick, don't it? When you have a panel, time goes quick. I used to do the lone ones, man, and an hour seemed like 2 days. It's like when is we're going to end?
I love it. Well, I mean, obviously, I mean, that kind of gives me a time frame because it shows an hour, back and forth question about, TTOTC and some life with whoever the first guest is, and then opening up the next hour or two into whoever else might come in and share their thoughts on what was discussed for that evening. But it's basically going to be the same questions. What are people's thoughts on the Chase-topia, the Chase marketplace, whether they're doing before and after, where their hobbies are before and after, and do they know of any good places to metal detect so I can put a P on their page? P for permission. The metal detect. Neural networking.
You mostly just metal detect in your home state?
Wherever I can get. I bring my metal detector. I try to.
So you said you
mean,
want to go to Mexico and Arizona and all that.
Oh yeah, there's definitely one place down. Obviously, you may or may not know, but El Paso, Texas, is definitely one of them.
Cool.
But there's some places down in New Mexico for sure that I want to hit, and especially following the Spaniards coming up, because I'm wondering, as far as the Spaniard travelization, I mean, the Rio Grande's so big that, I mean, how could the Egyptians and Vikings, if they did not travel this way, not travel up that river, So it'll be interesting to find what's along the waterways throughout America in the hunting history. And seeing as how there's all these rules and regulations and antiquities acts and all the whatnots, it's like the only true places to know you're good and safe and protected is to get permission from people who have private land, private properties, private businesses, private whatever, but at least land ownership. So there's no as ifs or questions like you, man. I wish I could tag along for that ride for sure. I'd be on that one.
I'm having doubts though. I'm having doubts about picking up pottery, man, based on that guy's show, man. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. Hey, if you're having second thoughts, honestly, take some corn, one of those dry corns, and take off all the corns, so you have a pocket of corn. And then if you find a piece of shottery, just drop a few corn there, and that'll work just fine.
I don't know, man.
Like when I go out, and I'll try to find rocks of something, and then I'll put the rocks in the place of whatever was found, leaving like a landmark. You know what I mean? Like, here was the resting place of such and such. Here's if you're taking something, give something, or
I think Forrest
place,
actually would bring I think at one point Forrest Fenn bought a medicine man on San Lazaro. I know he bought somebody on there to bless some fucking kind of thing with the fever.
He
did something.
At the very.
He only took him. Yeah.
Maybe at the very least, if you get your hands on some sage, burn some sage, and just ask for permission. Say, hey, spirits, may I have permission to
I don't know. I believe
have what I may or may not remove on this property.
Well,
think about it. It's the courtesy, the customary,
there is an interesting difference between Forrest Fenn and this. The land that I'll be going on is actually ancestrally tied to the person that bought it. So,
nice.
So in other words, it's their ancestors. You know what I mean? So it holds a lot more weight than Forrest is
Well,
digging on land that he bought. He ain't related to anybody that was there.
if you got the relative sitting there giving you permission, then what are you having second thoughts about?
It still makes me nervous. I mean, well, I'm going to talk. I mean, I'm going there to talk to him too. I just want to be able to talk to him and hear
I
their
tell you
story.
what, bring them a chicken, a live chicken, and then that way you guys can butcher the chicken, have chicken for dinner, sacrifice. You got all your things covered. Throw a feather in your hat and call it good.
It might be
It sounds like it'd be a fun adventure.
Oh, I'm gone. There's no doubt that I'm going to go. I mean, there's no doubt at all. I'll be there. I'll see the stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I can't dig. You know what I mean? Like if something is visible, I can take it. Or if it's like piercing the ground or whatever. They're never going to excavate this place. They don't want to.
Well, in my 60 years on this planet, I'll give you some advice, Troy. Take it for what it's worth. But the spirits out west, southwest, seem to like candy corn. Take a pocket of candy corn. Forget the dried maize. They like candy corn, man. You don't know what it is about it. And if you get lost, you got a sugary substance you can eat to sustain you until you get back to civilization.
What about just bring some weed and then get everybody stoned? Like, instead of burning sage, burn some weed, get everybody stoned.
I'd go that route. That worked for me.
Hey, Cheech and Chong, yeah.
Oh yeah. Those are some good shows.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the cool part. Like I said, Kiwi, the cool part is going to be meeting the family. I mean, to be able to. I mean, I would love to be able to do the same thing up in the Crow Res or whatever. To be able to sit down and talk to a fucking tribal elder. Holy Christ, man!
Oh, that would be awesome. I mean, just picking their brains about what lights they've seen in the sky in their day and age.
Absolutely, just. That Street Watch is the same guy I'm talking about. It's Peter. Do you remember Santa something or another, right?
Santa Parte or Santa Part? Is there? I think there's a P in there.
Yeah.
Santa Perde or something.
Yeah, something like that. I keep saying Santiago. That's not it.
No.
It's Peter. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, he was on the Lakota. You name the reservation, he's probably on it.
Oh, really?
But the Lakota elder really impressed me. And then the second one I like was the Crow, the father and his son. That was impressive. I mean, I thought that was cool. I don't know anybody like that in Wyoming. I will be able to go on the res and I'll know people indirectly, but I don't have like a lined up to go talk to a medicine man. But I'm close to that in New Mexico. Be able to, I mean, I'm going to do something similar to that. It's not a medicine man, though, but he's an elder. But anyway, their family goes, like I said, back to, I believe, the 15 or the 1600s.
Oh,
they were there before Santa Fe. Obviously, they're all dead, but I'm talking about like they got stories that they passed along. And I'm like, recorded on my, bring a recorder there and listen to it, maybe write up to see what I could do. And then they're going to take me around and I can go on to Pueblo and whatever.
So you're going on 1500 land that's been in the family?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You need to.
And I got full permission.
Oh,
and just in case anybody's listening, this has nothing at all to do with Forrest Fenn or San Lazaro. It's not San Lazaro. It's not at San Lazaro. And the Fenn family has absolutely nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with the chase, just somebody that I had met as a result of the research that I was doing there. Because I tried to talk to locals. I did the same thing on my channel. I had people that live on the Crow Res contact me. Then I went back to them, but I have not been able to find like an elder that I can talk to. Those people don't like put themselves out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should have put themselves out there at all.
What's that?
They should have put themselves out there at all.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, that well, even Peter, when he went on to talk to the Lakota guy, I don't know how the hell. I guess they contact him, like one of the younger guys, because all the millennials, because they're all hooked up on the internet, and he happened to get contacted by one that had an elder in his family. and he was able to get on that guy's property, go to his house and interview him. I mean, that's
Wow.
cool. That's really cool. I wish I had that. The only thing I have is my partner in Wyoming knows people that live on the res. He told me that I could get on the res and I'll have permission through his friends to take whatever I want.
Nice.
So if I find an arrowhead on the Wind River res, for example, I will take it and I will legally own it.
But
Now,
you
I don't know if I can sell it, but I can
sell
take
it
it.
now.
You know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't sell
so-
it now.
As long as you have permission from the property owner
Yeah, of
to
course. Yeah,
own
absolutely.
whatever you get, to include whatever you excavate, then yeah, you could sell it, you can barter it, you can
I
keep
don't think you
it.
can sell it. I don't think you still can sell it.
Yeah, not India. I don't know. New Mexico is different because in New Mexico, the laws are probably different. But yeah, I wouldn't sell it anyway. That's not why I'm doing it.
Yeah. No, they're more sentimental and historical value.
Correct.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
no,
the
they
name.
have.
That's the name, Lorraine. Yeah, Peter Santinello. Look his
Well,
channel
so-
up on YouTube, man. It's awesome.
Oh, you said Santa Perta, so it's Peter Santa what?
Santinello, Sentenello.
No.
It's in the chat. It's in your chat. Lorraine S said it. Peter
Oh, okay.
Sentinello. I linked him on my community page a couple times. I linked the videos. They're awesome to watch. You know, just
Because I mean, that's why they come up with the whole, Antiquities Act and stuff like that, and preventing you from on state or federal BLM, national forests, blah blah blah, from finding, excavating, and removing artifacts is because of that. But there are exceptions when you find stuff on private property, to include arrowheads, ancient tools, whatever, be it excavating or non-excavating. That's on private property. That's your now property given to you by the owner.
oh, absolutely.
So
In
you
New
could
Mexico,
sell.
yeah.
But yeah, I see
Absolutely,
what
yeah.
Rob's saying.
But I'm saying
Is
the
that-
family themselves don't want to excavate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about maybe taking like a probe stick?
I don't know. I'm going to bring a metal detector because he said there's Spanish artifacts all over the place.
Oh my god.
Check it, strike a lights, fucking nails. Okay. The same
Where
shit
you-
Forrest Fenn had. Same shit.
Where's this at?
It's in New Mexico. I'm not going to say where, but it's in New Mexico. It's not near.
You got
it's
my
not
you got
near
my
San Lázaro.
you got my email. You can send the invite out.
I can't. It's not
But
near
I
San
gotta get
Lázaro.
you on another page.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear. It's not San Lázaro. It's not near San Lázaro.
No,
Not died,
that's
any of that
regardless. For me, it's 1500 land, and it's conquistador traverse land. So
Yeah.
that's hunting history. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love hunting history.
Yep.
Shit.
Plus, I get there's a whole bunch, but I mean, that's one of the, in Wyoming, I really got a lot of connections. Like I said, I was so focused on Wyoming that if you Googled Forrest Fenn, Wyoming, the first 10 links were me. That's not true anymore.
Oh,
but-
really?
Oh, yeah. Because of all the posts, it was like pulling up shit from Dow's, pulling up shit from Jenny's, even way before YouTube. But the cool thing is, like I said, people start contacting me. Like I said, when Toby went to Lander, I knew about it because somebody contacted me, like some fat dudes running around in your area. I mean, literally, that's what they told me. And I said, don't worry about it. I know who he is. He's stupid. He ain't going to figure anything out. But it's cool.
Did
when you
somebody
get
see
like
me
that.
running around somewhere?
Not you.
You gotta lose a
No,
little
the
weight
other
for
thing,
myself.
like I said, when I was up at Union Pass, I just got to talking to the locals there, and the one guy was in his 30s, mid 30s, and we were talking, and I was talking about Chase Phelps, which is from the movie Taking Chance, the military guy. I'm sure you've probably seen it. He was an 18-year-old that got killed. But anyway, this guy goes, oh yeah, I went to school with him. We were friends. He goes, if you ever want to know, He goes, so I ended up being his Facebook friend. He goes, I'll tell you about all the fishing spots we used to go to, the secret ones and all of that. But it was just a side effect of Forrest. He don't know Forrest at all. They didn't even know anything about the chase, but they certainly knew that Chance Phelps. So that was so odd to be out there to meet somebody that would know that. But that's why I enjoyed the chase. I got so much cool stuff like that. I didn't get the treasure chest, but I got better. I got more than the treasure chest, in my opinion.
Yep.
Not
Memories.
financial, but memories, knowledge. I mean, stuff that can't be taken away from me.
Yep. Yep.
Right? Straight. I mean, thought all the time, constantly. So many things.
Yeah, you lost-
Everything. You can't look out and see anything that never originated from thought. I mean, besides nature. I mean, even that can be argued. Someone thought to call it a tree. Someone thought to call it grass. I mean, there was a thought there, but look behind Kiwi. Everything in there began with a thought in someone's mind.
Even that alien head back there.
Yep.
That's right.
Hello, alien.
Looks like an alien head right there.
They
It is.
said hi. He don't speak much. He's silent.
He's lost in thought.
And when he got down to earth, he ended up getting probed.
Yeah, he's lost in thought. Leave him alone.
Well, shoot, fellas, it's it's not 11:11. It's only 10:11. It's 11:11 somewhere, and that's one of my favorite numbers. So I guess I'm gonna probably end up kind of calling it right here. You guys have any last words or anything? I do appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate everybody in chat, that's for sure, hanging out.
Thanks for inviting me on, asking me the questions, and if you act stupid, the world will treat you stupid.
Well, I'm gonna try not to act stupid anymore. I can't promise nothing.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on too, and I'll see all of you guys probably tomorrow.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kiwi.
It's
Appreciate
good. It's good. It's good to see another person that has Zoom now because we can pretty much tie up Friday or Saturday, or Wednesday or Saturday now.
Bandwidth.
Yeah. Hey, Rob's getting Zoom too, man.
I look forward to it. I mean, at the very least, I gave myself something to look forward to that maybe some other searcher or non-searcher might look forward to. You know, getting a little bit of personal information, advice on how to change a negative to a positive with the help of other people. So that's the goal in a sense. I got so many goals. Oh, I hope they all work out. But then again, if not, oh well. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah. All right, people in chat, people in Zoom, I appreciate you guys for coming once again. I look forward to hopefully having you guys on again individually so you can get inside this book so that I keep track of this journey that I'm partaking on and ask you some few questions and get a few answers. And it goes for anybody else in the chat. Don't forget, there's also a video that's linked, that's pinned on there for a Forrest Fenn coin giveaway. Check that out, share that out, and if not, that's okay. It's all good. With that, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm about to go into heaven, unless my heaven went to sleep. I see the bathroom light is off, so I think she went to sleep on me. Which means, I got to tiptoe inside the house. I still
See
can't
you guys.
remember. Yeah, I was gonna try something on the whiteboard. I can't remember what it was, but I guess I'll have to save it for next time.
Yeah.
Oh, UPS man, the mail's getting there. Or are you sending out those
I was just messing with Rob. I had
copyright?
UPS, Mr. Postman, Alex Trebek trivia, Jeopardy. All right, let's see you guys later.
We'll see you. All right, people. Thank you guys for stopping by to Talking Tuesdays with, I'd say Kiwi, but Kiwi's inside. With James, thanks for talking and listening to me. with our guest. Thank you, Street, Ian, Troy, Big Rob, and all you fine people on the YouTube channel. If it wasn't for you, you know, I wouldn't be doing this. Or no, I would. I'd still be doing this because it was started before then. Because it's the help with the craziness that is in here to get out. And who knows, maybe somebody might learn something valuable that I learned that was valuable for me to help me change my life to a better uh, way of smiling and looking at things. And in a sense, I hope it goes about tenfold out to everybody else. And so yeah, with that, I hope you guys exit the train safely. Watch your step as you're coming down from the roof. Don't forget to gather up your drinks and your belongings and your pillows and your blankets. So we do have bins that you guys store your stuff in now. If you haven't found them, just put a label on there. Put your name on there. Oh, heard there was some stuff getting filed. Legal department. Some people know where it's at the back of the train. Feel free to check it out and let me know how the view is. 5 seconds after you get back, because that's how we just roll. Anyway, y'all keep calm and treasure on. And until next time, next Tuesday, let's figure out something else to let's talk about. Yeah. Adios, muchachos.